Got on monocles?
There we go. That looks good.
We're celebrating.
Yeah.
Because it's the season finale.
Oh, you started.
I started.
Okay.
Wait, what?
No, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Ari will start, and
Oh,
I'll be
you're starting?
like, "We started."
Yeah.
We
Are
started.
you are you fucking pouring liquor out of a banana float?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is
It has rum
happening?
in it.
Yeah.
always rum in the
There's
banana
always
flask.
rum in the banana flask.
Jesus.
We had he had a shot, like a little bottle of 99 bananas.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
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 You should start over.
Hey, this is our podcast. Don't tell us what to do.
Okay.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
All right.
You frightened me.
We got a special
the
season
word?
finale.
Yeah.
Guest?
Guest?
A treat.
I forgot the word guest.
Yeah.
Have you been drinking out of Travis's banana?
Drinking a bottle of plum wine.
It's Huntsville comedian Scott Eason.
Hey,
What's going on?
Not much.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm getting used to your weird ways.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm just
The T's in Hey Assbutt stand for tangent, so
Yeah.
just get used to that.
strange things are afoot. And
One of the T's stands for Travis.
Ah.
The other T stands for tangent. So we have a guest.
Yeah.
We're very excited. Scott, tell us about yourself and your relationship to Supernatural.
oh man, Supernatural is one of my favorite things in the world. My wife consistently makes fun of me for how much I like Supernatural. She is very concerned that I have sexual feelings for Dean. Which,
And you do.
Which may or may not be true.
I mean, who doesn't?
I know. Well, I'm a Dean. I'm a Dean man all the way through. Fuck
Yeah.
Sam. I just
We're about to come to blows because
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh,
Sam.
you're Sam?
A Sam man. Yeah.
Dean all day.
Fucking
Dean
A.
all day.
Half this podcast is me just defending Sam.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's so annoying. Play the drinking game where every time Dean goes Sam,
No,
be
we
in a
die.
coma.
Yeah.
You'll be in a coma. But I love the show. As we were talking before we were recording. I've watched the show from day one. I watched it the day it premiered. Back then, was it the WB back
Yep.
then?
No,
Yeah.
yeah. WB.
Oh, when it premiered on the WB. Oh, that was my favorite day because I was also a huge Smallville person.
Oh, yeah.
Smallville and Supernatural were back to back, and
that's
it was
nice.
very soothing day when those would happen. But I've loved the show. My sister is actually a huge Supernatural fan too, so it's the one thing that we kind of agree on in the world. So we talk about Supernatural quite often, but I want the show to go forever. And I think it could because Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki have no career outside of it. They both tried and failed horribly.
This is the one
And
thing.
Misha Collins just jumped right in that lemming boat with them and just over.
And they went off the cliff. Yeah.
They've got nothing but that show, so they're just like, let's continue. Even Eric Kripke was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
5 seasons in.
Kripke was like, "I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done." But they're still going, and I love it. And I hope it goes forever. I love that show. But I don't know. I find myself thinking how it will end, and honestly, I will say this: everyone has to die. They all have to die.
Yeah.
No one can survive. They should exterminate the crew and the sets. After the show wraps.
All
Oh, wait,
cars
you mean
blow up.
literally die, not just the
Oh
characters.
no! Just kill the characters and then be like, "Surprise! You're all really dead."
Yes.
And then,
We've been producing Supernatural in heaven.
You've served your purpose
Yeah.
and it's over. But I love the show. It's fantastic. It's everything that I love. It is funny. It's got great humor in it, and they are more than willing to like a wink and a smile at themselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't scare me. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the horror aspect of the show, but it doesn't really get me. But however, I think it was one of the first shows that brought in deep mythology into the universe. And now that's fucking catnip. Like everyone, if you're gonna do a show like Stranger Things, it has all this mythology and things behind it, and that's exactly what Supernatural is built on. And then after that, you had Lost and all these other shows that have all these things and Easter eggs and blah blah blah. And Supernatural is one of the first shows to ever do that. So I think that was really groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But I think the acting is terrible. But in a good way.
Yeah,
But
it's
in
like
a
very
good way.
beady.
There are
Yeah,
some-
it's like a campy B movie.
Yeah,
or-
there are bright spots to it. I just think overall it's a good, entertaining show. Like it checks all the boxes for me of things that I want to see. It's got the humor, it's got the mythos and the pathology to it, and then I enjoy Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki as the main characters. I think it's great. It's good.
I remember back when Hey Assbutt was only a glimmer of a thought in a dream, in an eye, and we were talking, and I asked you like what your favorite nerd thing is, and instantly you were like, Supernatural. I'm gonna cosplay as Dean,
Totally.
and I want to know how
totally.
that cosplay is going.
Well, I'm bald as fuck.
You gotta grow hair, man. You gotta grow
I
hair.
can't grow the hair, but I can probably get a Rockin' Dean wig. That probably is a thing. And I won't shave my beard for cosplay, so I'll just have to be old grizzled Dean. But I need somebody. Ben, you can pull off a Sam. You're taller than me too.
You've got the
it might
hair.
be-
He's got the height.
I need.
and the
See,
hair.
that's the thing is you can't just go as Dean Winchester. They'll be like, "What? That's lame. Where's Sam?"
Yeah.
You know? You have to go as a pair. So I need somebody that's slightly taller than me with the long hair. Funnily enough, I was thinking the other day, Jared Padalecki has had long hair through that entire show.
Yeah.
Of varying lengths, but it's always been longer. And I started to think, like, why hasn't he ever had shorter hair? And it came to me, like, the realization that he looks like a fucking idiot with short hair. It has to be. It has to be. That he's like, this is just, I look good this way.
Yep.
With
Yeah.
short hair, I look like a fucking schmuck.
Yeah.
So
I learned
it's
that
just
the hard way.
Yeah, it's just the long
We
hair is what he's rocking.
spend a lot of time talking about Jared Padalecki's hair throughout the seasons
Yeah.
on the show. Oh gosh, Travis, you haven't gotten to this yet, but their voices get even deeper.
Oh, so
it's
deep.
amazing.
Really?
It gets so deep.
Like they got deeper
it
in
gets
like the
so
middle of
deep.
an episode.
Oh, no,
or something. Like,
Yeah.
It's so
halfway
deep.
through season 1, they already started getting deeper. and
Neither
now-
one of them talk like that in real life. Like
No.
watch an interview with them, they're perfectly fine. But,
Yeah.
like Jensen Ackles is just like must smoke a pack of fucking Marlboro
Yeah.
Reds
Yeah.
before they shoot. He's like, Sam,
It's
Cass.
I was watching a season 1 episode the other day, and then afterwards I watched like a later season episode, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Well-
what happened?"
Well,
Most-
aren't
most of the
both
sh-
of them like 40
yeah.
years old now?
Yeah, they're my age.
Yeah.
They're like 38, 39.
Yeah.
And most of the show, literally 50% of the show is just screaming names.
Yeah.
Is what most of them
Yeah.
do.
The writers
It's-
have a pretty easy job because it's just Dean
Yeah.
and Sam
Yeah.
over and over again, and
Exactly.
occasionally Cass.
Well, it was it really got me there for a while, and I think the reason why the show fell in the mid seasons was it was one of them dying and then coming back, and they would just alternate who would fucking die
Yeah.
and who would come back, and it just got so old. So the reason why I've liked these most recent seasons is they're not dying anymore. Well, they are,
Yeah.
but there's no like that's not the cliffhanger. That's
Right.
not what the impetus
season
of-
finale
The
is
impetus
about.
of the show is them fucking dying because
Yeah.
nobody wants to see that shit anymore. It's fucking lame. They
'Cause
need
it's
to
played out.
Yeah, kill other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, other people need to die.
At the beginning of Hey Assbutt, when we first started recording, I was at the end of season 7. And in the time that we've recorded, I've watched one whole season in all these months in like half a year. And yeah, I'm about to get to those dreaded middle seasons, and I just have to slog through.
You have so much road to cover.
I
Yeah.
really do.
Because 13 goddamn seasons.
The road so
yeah,
far.
yeah, the road so
What
far.
brings me comfort is the fact that Travis has more to cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
See, like I'm watching episodes 21 and 22 for the very first
Yeah.
time tonight.
That's a lot.
I've
That's a
watched
lot.
every single episode for the first time through recording this show.
Yeah, do you like the show?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. You're looking at a product that was made 13 years ago.
I know.
Yeah.
That is
Right?
That is one of the things is that it was made so long ago.
I can
it's
look
like,
back fondly because now I've seen it from the beginning.
Right.
It was age appropriate for me at the time. You know,
Yeah.
it was like that was it. But the other thing is it's actually an evergreen show because Sam and Dean dress the same as they did in season 1 that they do
Yeah.
in season 13.
Yeah.
I can.
Sam has
Slightly
the same
popped.
jacket.
Dean's collar is ever so slightly popped at all
Uh-huh.
times. It's never laid down flat. And like, yeah, they do the same things. It's just
Dean has the same jacket.
they don't change. Dean has about 4 jackets
Yeah.
that he alternates through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and plus I really love that like Baby the car
Yeah.
is like a main character of the show.
Oh yeah.
Because that Impala, it's fucking just gnarly. A 60,
Iconic.
yeah, 67. It's a 67 Impala. It's great.
Later we're gonna go through Travis, we're gonna go through your thoughts on the season. We're gonna go through all of our thoughts on the season. But right now, Scott, I want to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
And these are just personal questions. These are questions we've asked ourselves throughout this season, and now we want to know your answers. So,
Okay.
first things first, do you have any favorite cryptids?
The first cryptid, when you asked me that, the first one that comes to mind, and I read it in a book about cryptids when I was a kid, and it's the Jersey Devil.
Oh yeah,
That's a solid one.
classic.
Good one.
It's the Jersey Devil, yeah, from New Jersey of all places, which of course does not surprise me that it's full of nasty creatures.
Yeah.
It always is.
So yeah, and of course they always have such a great legend behind them and things like that, and I don't know, I like to be scared, and when I was a kid, stuff like this kind of freaked me out a little bit and things like that, and it's I think I don't want to say I'm beyond the capacity to be frightened anymore, but most horror and things like that doesn't frighten me anymore, but I still find joy in urban myths and legends and things like that, and hearing about old things, because the Jersey Devil, that legend goes back to the 1700s. So it's and it's still talked about today. So I mean, it's probably, of course, not true, but there might be a kernel of truth, because urban myths and legends are normally born from something. And so I just remember that book. I wish I knew what the title was. I know you were doing some weird book search recently, and somebody helped you out, and you found it. And I would like to find this book, because it was great, because it was just these little short stories about all different cryptids and things of that nature. So yeah, I'd probably say the Jersey Devil. Probably second would be Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And that's just a classic. Of course, because I don't believe a Bigfoot is out of the realm of possibility of existing in some fashion, but not in the glorified manner of which everybody freaks out about.
Right.
And of course, so many people are Bigfoot enthusiasts. I have good friends that are Bigfoot enthusiasts that are 100% oh man,
he's out there
for real. And I'm like, okay, that's maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Have you ever considered maybe not?
Maybe it's just a really hairy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this
But-
guy needs a shave.
Yeah,
Or
it's
woman.
Good. Yeah, it's good. Plus, I had this
Or
thing where
non-binary.
forever, I thought a Bigfoot and a Yeti was the same thing. And
Oh,
they're
yeah,
not.
it's not.
They're not.
Wait, are they not?
No. Yetis live in the Himalayas.
Oh, is that
Yetis are-
the only difference though?
A Yeti is like an abominable snowman.
Like they're
That's a
white.
Yeti. Yeah, and a Bigfoot is more of a Talladega Forest kind of creature.
A redneck is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's a redneck.
A redneck that got lost at Talladega and has haunted the woods since
Ever since.
Earnhardt died.
Well, just
Now
was depressed over
everyone knows.
Earnhart's death.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Jersey Devil and Bigfoot Yetis and stuff like that. I've always loved those.
How do you feel about the rumor that Sasquatch was just Elvis in a suit? Do you ever hear that? Yeah, it's fucking fantastic, right?
I've never heard that before.
Really?
No, I've never heard that.
That was the
before.
thing, going back.
So I
to,
was like, hey man, I can't. I'm too fat
yeah.
to perform. But I'm scared of shit out of these people in the woods, man. Watch out now. Fucking Sasquatch come through.
How do you feel about the conspiracy theory that Alex Jones is a character played by Bill Hicks? I couldn't get it out. Oh God.
Well, okay. As a comedian, and this is not normally a popular opinion, I don't really care for Bill Hicks.
Fair enough.
Bill Hicks,
Yeah.
he's great, and he was good at what he did. It's just not my style of humor.
Right.
And he was more of, for lack of a better term, he was a performance artist. He gave a great performance.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like a TED Talk before there was a TED Talk that had some jokes in it.
Yes.
He did material, but a lot of his stuff was just rants. He just ranted, and it's so. It's kind of funny. I mean, could it be true? Maybe. But he's like, well, I faked my own death, and I'm going to come back as an alt-right blowhard. It's that's a weird choice.
Yeah.
You think he'd go to Tupac's island and hang with them, but he's like, no.
Hang with Elvis and Marilyn Monroe and Tupac.
Doesn't matter.
Don't forget Michael Jackson's there too now.
Jackson.
Hey, Alex, you seen me as Sasquatch?
You know who isn't there? David Bowie, because he ascended to be with his alien species.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love conspiracy theories too.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I absolutely adore them.
You don't really fit in on this podcast, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, my favorite one recently was somebody told me that Jimi Hendrix was the one that murdered Eric Clapton's son.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Talking about that.
Yeah, and I heard it was the
hilarious.
craziest thing I'd ever heard. And it was like, it was basically, for those of you who don't know, Eric Clapton's son fell out of a window in his like 57th floor apartment in New York. And, tragic. And that's where we got the song Tears from Heaven. So, I mean, sorry, little guy, but you gave us great music. But he's like, no, Jimi Hendrix had a vendetta against Eric Clapton over something or another. I can't remember. And Jimi Hendrix came and literally kicked his son out of the window. It was like, take that, slow hand. And laughed. But completely glossing over the fact that Jimi Hendrix died in fucking 1970. 1970?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, so it's either zombie Hendrix came back just to kill one little boy, or Jimi Hendrix faked his own death and laid in wait until
Like, what, 7 years?
Clapton had a kid, and he's like, I'm gonna murder that baby. and then I'm gonna go back into hiding. So it's batshit insane.
Yes.
But it's like when people tell you these things and they have complete and total faith in them, it is, number one, it's hilarious to me.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, I've never believed anything that much. And these people are so...
Yeah.
I met a guy recently after a show that told me that he had letters from the shooters on the grassy knoll that killed JFK proving that Lee Harvey Oswald did not do it. And I was like, tell me more.
Yeah.
I was like, tell me more.
As a comedian, you were like, keep going. I need to get a pen and some paper.
It was insane. But adorable.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And here's the thing. I don't think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. But I also don't think a gentleman I met after a show has some exclusive letters written to him from the actual killers. Like, you know what? We've evaded capture all this time. I'm going to tell this dude.
I'm going to write it down, put pen to paper,
give
tell
him
my
some letters.
story.
Well, you're the first person to ask. You're goddamn right I killed JFK. Yeah, no. Oh, not to mention I'm 96 years old. But I killed that son of a bitch back in 63.
Wait, Billy, weren't you there that day? What were you doing?
Oh, you got me. Nobody ever asked.
And nobody bothered to find out.
My dad was in Dallas when JFK was shot. He was in the airport, and they locked the airport down.
Wow.
And he couldn't fly out till the next day. But he bought a Dallas paper when he was there, and he still has it. And it's the biggest newsprint I've ever seen. It takes up, like, within the paper's folded in half, the whole front said JFK's dead. It's still got it.
Wow.
Probably worth something.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it is.
Pretty cool little souvenir. He was there. Yeah.
Question, did your dad kill JFK?
Oh man, I hope so. I hope so. I would have
That would be amazing.
I'd have a new level of respect. Yeah. Like, God damn, Dad, I didn't know you were down for regime change. What's happening?
I wanted to be in the musical Associates.
No.
All right. Second question, and this is one of my favorite things that we've talked about on the show, and we spent a lot of time talking about it. What horror movie universe would you want to live in?
Oh, man.
Take your time, but not too much time.
Well, now, when you say horror movie universe, does it have to be something that sprawls out, or
No,
can it be a singular vision?
It can be a singular movie, yeah.
Singular?
Yeah.
You can pick Krampus if you want. You can be that niche.
I don't want to be that niche.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would probably have to go with, even though it's probably a popular answer, but it is true, I'd probably have to go with Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's what I said.
I would have to go with Nightmare on Elm Street. Because I always thought, be like, y'all bitches have terrible dreams. Just out-dream this motherfucker. Fucking, you don't know what you can do. I think I would have a stand a fighting chance. Plus, like, I like Freddie. He was always really quippy.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we could rap. Maybe I could talk. Maybe we could just be friends. Maybe like, do you need an apprentice? I can help.
I'm down to kill some teenagers, some
Exactly.
gay teenagers.
Plus, the first horror movie that ever gave me nightmares was the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
I believe that.
Came out in 1984. I was 6 years old.
God damn.
And my sister let me watch it. That bitch. That fucking bitch let me watch it. And it scarred me. Like, fucked me up. Like, when Johnny Depp gets sucked into the waterbed and then the blood, oh my God.
Man.
The tongue through the phone, just the whole thing just gave me absolute nightmares, which is terrible because it's literally a movie about don't fucking go to sleep.
Yeah.
And as a kid, your parents like, go to sleep. You're like, but I'll die. And they're like, no, you won't. You're being stupid. You're like, no. It's just terrible. It was so, it fucked me up. It was the first horror movie that ever really got to me. And pardon me, I think the original is a great horror film.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a good movie. Wes Craven, fantastic work in the first one. Heather Langenkamp, I thought was great. I thought actually she might go on to be a scream queen, but she never really did shit after that. But it's a great flick. And the Freddy universe, it just got progressively worse and worse.
Yeah.
But worse and worse in a funny way.
Right.
You know, like the movies just kept getting shittier. Like, there's a great documentary about Freddy 2 called Scream, Queen, because Freddy 2 is the gayest horror movie ever made.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they intended it to be that way, but it very much is. And it's so it was such a weird follow-up. And then after that, they were just like, fuck it, let's just go campy and kind of scary until New Nightmare, which Wes Craven came back and tried to make it scary again. So I really love the movie. I wasn't a big fan of the remake, and Jackie Earle Haley I thought did a fine job, but Robert Englund came out recently and said that he thinks Kevin Bacon should be Freddy Krueger.
That's a good choice.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's fucking
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
That would be good.
And Kevin Bacon was like, that sounds cool. I was like, that would be so great
Yeah.
if they did that. I would love to see Kevin Bacon play Freddy Krueger. Because one, I love Kevin Bacon, which, by the way, has been in a couple good horror flicks, especially Stir of Echoes, which
Yeah.
really isn't a horror flick. Not really horror, but a good
Well, and I
kinda
was thinking
scariest
The
movie.
Woodsman, like his performance
Yeah.
in that,
Yeah.
I think would be, I think
Lots
he'd
of-
be great as Freddy.
Yeah, I think it would be really good. But
If we just hammed it up a little.
Yeah. I love the concept of dreams. Of you know, I think it's very fertile ground, and I think it would be fun to play in that universe. I guess until I die by Freddy's hand. Plus, also when I was a kid, there was the great. If you've never heard it, you really should. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince had a song called "Nightmare on My Street." Which was a rap song about Nightmare on Elm Street that Freddy actually drops a pretty hot feature on. And if you haven't heard it, you definitely should. So I would definitely say Nightmare on Elm Street. I love it.
Nice.
Rock on.
Yeah, especially it'll never leave my brain. The 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
It'll always be in your head. It's always in my head. That's what I think. So yes, that would be my answer.
All right, rock on. Well, I have one more question for you. What are some of your favorite tropes and some of your least favorite tropes?
I love the trope of how do I say this? The virginal aspects of horror movies, like
Right.
if you the sex rule.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the sex rule in movies, and I think that that trope always cracks me up. It's like, yo, if you be fucking, you're dead.
Yeah.
You just can't, keep your shit in your pants, and I love that one. I hate the trope of basically you can run as fast as you can. The killer will basically be like, I ain't sweating that shit, and just like,
Yeah.
but then be right on top of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like you
the
trip over
Friday
a
the
branch. You
13th.
trip over a branch. You're like, oh, it's like, where the fuck did you come from? You're not that fast. You know?
You were lumbering back there like
It
2
makes
seconds,
no sense.
an
And,
hour.
It makes no sense. And
Yeah.
the director's not going to come back and be like, we need to retcon this. Jason can teleport.
Yeah.
Did you not tell you? Jason can totally teleport.
Fucking Rob Zombie's Halloween movies are full of that too.
Yeah, I
Michael
hate
Myers
that.
always just right there.
Yeah.
If I can sprint, you better sprint after me.
Yeah.
All right. That's not.
Fun
it's
fact.
Not fair.
All of those horror movie villains know a
Yeah.
secret passageway through the forest, like a
That's
trapdoor.
not
Yeah.
possible. It's not possible.
Look, it's in the extras. I
Trapdoors.
don't.
So
tell
not
you.
only is Jason a terrible, brutal murderer, but he's a pretty snazzy carpenter.
He's also a Scooby Scooby-Doo villain who
He
just
was-
pulls
he
open
went,
a book.
He went to real estate school, learned how to buy land. He watched a lot of HGTV. He was like, I can spruce the
He just hired a very discreet
just
contractor
and then
to
killed them
come
all.
in.
So he's he's Batman of horror. He's like, don't tell anybody. I'm Jason. I killed Blue Bill. Oh, this is for murder.
That's what I'm saying. It makes perfect sense.
Makes-
He's
makes zero sense.
he's a Scooby-Doo villain with a really great
zero
contractor.
I hate the trope of if you're drunk or high.
Yeah.
Nah, man, if I'm high, I'm on high alert. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? I will fucking run like Carl Lewis. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a million little tropes, and some of them are the backbone of almost every horror movie. There has to be some things, but I think they're never going to go away.
Yeah.
But I think in the digital age now, you see more. Now there's been so many social media horror movies and things like that, and those are becoming, this and that. Everything eventually, it's like the Batman saying, it's like either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a trope. That's basically what it is. If something works in a movie, then people are just going to regurgitate it over and over.
Well, and especially
that's very true in horror.
Yeah.
Very true in horror.
especially since we have so many directors and writers and people who when they were kids just ate up media
Yeah.
and were obsessed with it, and now they've grown up and entered the movie business or the television business or writing novels, and they're going by what they loved as children, so yeah, I think you're right. I think things evolve and change,
You're
but
a product of your environment.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
things stay the
And
same.
I mean, that's also what people want to see. That is why every once in a while somebody will make a horror movie that people are like, oh no, you got to see it. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
But then a year later, there's another movie almost just like it.
Yeah.
It's like It Follows was a very unique movie, but then there's already been 2 other movies
That are
using the
similar.
same kind
Right.
of thing. They might be B movies that you'll never see, but they're fucking out there.
Yeah.
Well, and
Only
even-
some of them make the mainstream.
It's even when did Scream come out? Because
1995?
yeah, that was the first movie
95, 96, yeah.
at least in my memory, where it was almost like a deconstruction of a horror movie, where they took these tropes.
Well,
and,
that was the wink and the nod.
yeah, the wink and the nod. Yeah,
That was what it was supposed to be. It was light parody
yeah,
of all the horror movie tropes that
and
you'd
almost
seen.
an affectionate parody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, but then you had the real parody with Scary Movie.
Yeah.
and
Right.
And the way, then it became a parody of a parody of a parody. And it's
Yeah.
like, fuck, this is Inception. for,
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah,
Get lost in
Yeah,
and of
exactly.
itself.
So it's I think, that works. Especially, I think that's the successful formula for a horror movie these days is to take those tropes and turn them on their head.
Yeah.
Or to invent a completely
Yeah.
new thing.
Yeah. That's why Cabin in the Woods got so popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it took all those tropes and it was like, what if this was
What if this
all
was-
set up by
Well,
somebody?
Yeah.
If things go in
It's very
things
circular.
move in shifts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right now the popular thing is horror based in reality somewhat. Like the Warrens,
Yeah.
all their cases are becoming movies.
Yeah.
The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, and now they're spinning off of The Conjuring. They have fucking Annabelle, and then the Nun movies coming out
Yeah.
and all that. And it's just
nuns.
Yeah, exactly. But all that is most of that stuff is based in at least, I say reality, more like what the Warrens,
Yeah.
put down on paper and their caseload and things like that.
Based on a true story.
Based on
Yeah.
a true story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Heavy bunny
That's
ears.
what people want to see.
Yeah.
That is why when the Blair Witch came out, it
Blew
changed
up.
the horror
Yeah.
game. It changed the horror game. I still remember seeing that movie in the theater, and it didn't scare me per se, but it definitely made my skin crawl a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
It was especially because the ending of that movie is fucking very powerful because it was just if you're paying attention to the movie and you're riveted by it and you hear her say, you hear the legend of made him stand in the corner, and then when they go down and you see him standing in the corner, you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's like, oh no. And I knew so many people. My friend's little brother. I saw that movie in '97 when it came out. I was a year out of high school, so I was at the time when it came out, I was 18 or 19, And my buddy's little brother, who was probably 14 at the time, 100% thought that was fucking true.
Yeah.
100% thought that movie was true. He fucking cried. It was like, he thought it was like a real thing. I was like, don't be fucking stupid, man. Like, of course, it's a great horror film, but no, it's not really. It looks so real. I'm like, no shit. They made it look that way.
Yeah.
They made it look that way.
You know how anyone can go to Radio Shack? It's like that. You know?
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity, the first one, when I saw that in the movie theater, no shit, gave me nightmares for a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That movie gave me nightmares for a week. It was great, and plus that movie was made for like fucking, I mean, like $100,000. I mean, or something like that. Not even that, maybe. And at the time, it's still like top 5, one of the most profitable movies in Hollywood history. So that movie made $400 million worldwide off a budget of like less than $100,000.
Wow. Damn.
You know, it's fucking genius. So Oren what's his name? Oren Pelly, or I can't remember his name. But I mean, he basically started a whole like little studio to make movies like that. He wasn't very successful, but then look at Blumhouse and Jason Blum. I think it's Jason Blum that runs Blumhouse, and they make everything. That is like the horror studio to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, and they specialize in like low budget, you know, 10 million or under horror movies that go out and fucking make like 100, 200, 300, 400 million. Lights Out.
Yeah.
That fucking Lights Out. They made that movie for like $10 million. It made fucking 250 million or some shit like that. It's fucking insanity. Horror is extremely profitable because people that love horror are loyal.
Yeah.
They want to see horror movies.
Oh,
They
yeah.
go out to theaters to see them, but they only normally last in the movie theater for like 2 to 4 weeks and they're gone. They're not like an Avengers movie that can hang in there forever. It's always a very short window, but then they hit cult status like when they go, you know, they have whole fucking stations dedicated to horror movies.
And if you're clever, you can make a horror movie for a couple of grand,
Yeah.
and you're good.
I'm in the midst of like I'm putting the finishing touches on. I'm writing a short horror film.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a 30-minute film. I'm almost done. I'm literally trying to make it. Like,
Awesome.
I think I might do a Kickstarter.
Travis is a great screamer.
Oh yeah.
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 I do
He's
have really good screams.
Very good at
Interesting.
screaming if you need a
Yeah.
scream queen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Travis,
Yeah.
I've got a question for you.
What's that?
The 2 episodes we're watching today are Salvation and Devil's Trap. What do you think happens in them?
Salvation and Devil's Trap. Sam and Dean are going to go to a hardware store because they need to buy a rat trap. And they're like, we're gonna catch a demon with this because they coat it in like holy water and put some blessed cheese on it. And then they capture the demon that killed their mom. And then John Winchester shows up and he's like, we finally got you. And John gets punched in the face and he's out. And then Sam and Dean take the demon in the rat trap and throw it in a meat grinder.
All right. Well, I see you've got a bit of a fantasy going on here.
That
I don't know if that happens.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. That doesn't happen.
No? Are you sure?
Are you sure? Are you 100% sure?
Let me dash those dreams right now.
I think the truth in that stopped when you said Sam and Dean. Everything after that was just like, no. You got 3 words right. One of them was just an article, so it doesn't count. So you got 2 words right, which were Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
Also, everyone says Sam and Dean. It never is Dean and Sam. Nobody ever says
Even though
Dean and
he's
Sam.
older.
It doesn't flow as good as Sam and Dean.
You know what's
No,
weird
it
about
doesn't.
that though is usually there's like this pattern in English-speaking people where if you list something where you'll say get eggs, bacon, and bread.
Yeah.
That's because well, no, that's not a good. But so like eggs.
It's bacon and eggs.
What?
It's not eggs and bacon.
What?
You're proving your own point. Because
so,
nobody
like-
got eggs and bacon. You say bacon and eggs. It's bacon.
You
and
do
eggs.
say bacon and eggs.
It's bacon
yeah.
and eggs.
But so because bacon and bread started with the same 2 letters, bacon came first because it's BA and then BR.
Oh, are you saying they do it like we subconsciously put it in out? Wait, no, that doesn't
Yeah.
make sense for Sam and Dean.
See, I don't know why I brought this up.
I was about to say that. Right? You're not.
There was no point to this.
Hey man, you're contributing in any way you can.
I was trying
appreciate
to
that.
sound smart for a second.
In this
And it
episode,
didn't
Sam
work.
and Dean go back to community college
Yeah.
and fail at grammar.
Yep.
All right,
You
well,
tried.
Sam!
I don't know what happens. And Travis and Scott. But let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's do
Scott
it.
and Travis and Scott. I don't know what sounds better.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
We just spent so many hours watching Supernatural. 2 of them. Feels like a lot. No,
It
we
does.
just watch
Yeah.
one.
Two episodes at a time is
It's a
actually
lot.
like
Well,
way more time than I thought it was going to
Well,
be.
but it's right in line with binging. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Right now, if we weren't recording this podcast, you'd be queuing up episode 2.
Oh yeah,
right
Yeah.
now.
that is
Yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do a quick sum up, and then we're going to talk about our feelings. Opens with a priest in a church. Feels very appropriate because we're going to be dealing with a lot of demons these next 2 episodes. And our old friend Meg comes in, and she immediately is like, I'm a fucking murderer, time to die. And kills him. And we can tell he's in the know because he is packing for a priest.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He walks in and has like a wall of guns.
He's a hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a hunter.
He's a hunter.
He's the Pastor Jim we keep hearing about.
Yeah.
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 And oh, Pastor Jim, we hardly knew ye.
Yeah.
Cut to our boys, Sam and Dean and John, and they are making plans to track down this demon now that they have the Colt, which is the magical killing demon gun, kill anything, and it's got 6 bullets. They used 1 last episode. We're down to 5.
4.
4.
Yeah, we were down to 4
I had 4.
because
Why are we
what-
down to 4?
what's his name tried to use a bullet on the vampire and
Oh,
missed,
right.
and then
John got it. Okay,
used 1.
you're right. We're down to 4.
So we're down to
Yeah.
4.
And John has got a hit on where this demon's going to be. Salvation, Iowa. That's where they go.
Yeah, very aptly named.
Very.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I love about Supernatural is, and this is definitely a budgetary concern, is they're only a few times in 13 seasons has ever been like Chicago.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
St.
It's
Louis.
always like the show opened in Blue Earth, Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh.
they're basically like,
Yeah.
look, we can't. Okay,
There was
these have to be
actually-
podunk towns.
Earlier in this season, and I talked about it for the entire episode of the podcast, there was a episode set in Richardson, Texas,
Yeah.
which is where my dad grew up and
Oh,
where
yeah?
my family lives.
Hell
Yeah.
So the whole episode, I was just talking about how that is not what Richardson, Texas looks like.
Too many trees.
Too many
Way
trees.
too many trees.
Yeah.
Should have texted him. We were like, you ever met any Winchester boys? Dad, was there any cattle deaths, temperature changes in Richardson when you grew up?
Some electrical storms.
Some shit going down. So they go to Salvation, and Sam has a vision. They're hunting for, like, they know the demon's going to attack a 6-month-old baby. Coincidence, Sam was 6 months old when his family was attacked.
Yep.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Now, let me say, do you shy away from future season spoilers?
We do a little bit. Mostly.
The only thing that bugs me is, like, in the first few seasons, it was a big thing with Sam and what's
Yeah.
happening with him now, and then later on they're just like, that doesn't happen anymore.
That doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Yeah. No, and we will we'll get there, Travis.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out what's up.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Can't wait for
This is the podcast that never
4
ends.
of
Yeah.
season 12.
We'll be 2 years into the Kanye presidency.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll just be
And
on
Kid
episode-
Rock will have just been accepted as a senator, and here we are.
Yeah.
I'll take Kid Rock over Roy Moore. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's
Put me down for that.
yeah. When this episode airs, we'll know. We'll know
Yeah,
who's won.
We will
So,
Yeah.
We will know.
Kid Rock, we really want you.
Roy Moore could be a demon. Has anyone thrown holy water on him?
I mean, he sure knows a lot about the Bible. It's almost like he was
does.
there.
He does.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
And he is evil. So Sam gets a vision. It's like, I know who it is. It's this fucking family. And he goes back and he tells John, and John for the first time is learning about that fact that Sam has got these visions. And John's like, why didn't you call me? And Dean's like, fuck you, Dad. You didn't pick up your goddamn phone.
Yeah.
And then they get a call from Meg, who has killed their friend Caleb, a very bald young man.
Now, hang on. I want to rewind for a minute.
Okay.
Because One thing I love about this show, but I also hate about most television shows, is how he ran out of the library and the house that they had to go to was conveniently close.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's like in small town Salvation, Iowa.
He recognized it immediately, and also a woman with a baby. He walked up, put his hand on the stroller, and was like, "Let me get that for you."
Yeah.
People don't do that in real life. People are like,
Oh,
"What
yeah,
the fuck
no.
is your problem, weirdo? Get the fuck away from me!" He has
Yeah.
a very calm conversation where he looks extremely dour and depressed.
Yeah.
and she's just like, "Nice to meet you, Sam."
Yeah.
not weird dude that came up.
Best friend.
Wanted to talk to me about my baby, and then looked at me like, "You're gonna die."
Oh, I'm sorry that this
sorry,
tragedy
you're
would have
gonna
happened to you.
Pleasure meeting
Jared
you.
Padalecki is 6'4". If
Yeah.
a 6'4" man came up to me and my baby, I would be like,
I don't
stranger
know.
fucking
He's
danger.
pretty sexy. You'd be
Yeah.
like, you can hold that goddamn baby.
You want to lick that baby?
Yeah.
Get him with that baby.
So yes, I'm sorry. I
So
just had to mention.
no,
that.
it's totally fine. We're
had
gonna
to
get to
mention
this. We're gonna get to the part of the podcast where that is all. We're gonna talk about those little things. So Meg is like, "Hey, we know you have the cult. Come meet me here in Lincoln, Nebraska, with the cult, or else I'm gonna kill your buddy Caleb." And John's like, "I'm not gonna give you the cult." And Meg goes, "Okay, Caleb's fucking dead. I'm gonna come after everyone you've ever loved, unless you bring me the cult." And John's like, "Okay, fair enough." So, John has decided that he is going to bring a fake gun to a knife fight, and give the cult to Sam and Dean and leave them here to protect the family and salvation and kill the demon. This plan, of course, goes off without a hitch.
I'm saving all my comments.
Yeah, save
I
'em,
have
yeah.
so many.
Yes.
So
yes.
many.
I have pages,
okay.
pages of notes. This plan, of course, goes off without a hitch. Everything's fine. Just kidding. They immediately figure out it's not the real cult. And Meg and this other demon, whose name is not disclosed, goes and fucks John up and kidnaps him. Although there's this really cool scene where John makes the water tower holy water in this
that was really cool.
abandoned warehouse and is able to stave them off for a while with this holy water. It's very badass. Sam and Dean, meanwhile, waiting outside. The demon, lights start flickering. The radio starts getting fucked up. And Sam's like, it's time. So he and Dean go into the house. The dad's like, why are you here? And Dean's like, we don't have time for this. Sam runs upstairs. He gets there just in time to save the mom and the baby, but he doesn't kill the demon because when he shoots the demon, it puffs into a cloud of smoke and disappears. And it has goddamn yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes. The most unsettling yellow eyes. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just regular human yellow eyes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wait, you just said regular human yellow eyes.
all right.
Not this
Not
kid.
a-
This kid doesn't have jaundice, all right?
Not a thing.
But like his pupils are all squiggly and
Yeah.
stuff.
They're
Yeah.
not even
They
like
look
cat's
like
eyes.
marbles.
Yeah.
They look like,
marbles.
yeah.
Yellow marble.
I guess the closest thing you would find in nature as far as eyeballs go is like a lizard type.
Yeah, like a gecko's
Maybe.
eye.
Yeah. It's unsettling. It is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we just get the flash of that yellow when Sam shoots him with the gun, and then it's like, peace out, bitches. So they save the kid, they save the family, but John is missing. And that episode ends with Dean and Sam saying, we gotta save our dad, but we need help. We can't just storm in
Yeah.
and kill this demon. Devil's Trap opens with them meeting the greatest character. One of my favorite characters on this show.
Bobby motherfucking Singer.
Bobby Singer. He's so great.
You mean Robert Singer, executive producer?
Yeah.
Really subtle Easter egg, guys. The director of Salvation was actually Robert Singer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he is the producer too, so they, slipped that in there real sneaky. Like,
See, I thought it was something like a sewing machine thing.
Yeah.
Like Bobby, like a Bobby, and Singer, like the sewing machine.
Wow.
But
what is this for? Old space?
that,
You know what? We're not tapping into the old sewing market.
yeah.
Let's name a character Bobby, because you know it's a thing on
Well,
a
you
sewing
know, we're
machine.
getting money from
That's
Singer Corporation.
Yeah.
we gotta figure out how to make this a branded video.
Yeah.
So, and Bobby is just like, do y'all have an uncle who is Bobby pretty much? He's just like real old and southern, and he has a bunch of cars and a dog, and he's in a bunch of demon hunting books. He is
That's
excellent.
Ben's whole family.
Yeah, that's just Ben.
Speaks fluent Latin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speaks Latin and Japanese. He's fucking amazing. And Bobby introduces them to the concept of a devil's trap. When a demon gets in there, there's no getting out. Sam and Dean are like, this is amazing. Why haven't we been using this in the entire show?
they
And
were
it's
all
like,
in
yeah,
this-
why haven't you?
They were all in this book called Solomon's Key.
Yes. And Bobby, he says that's the real deal. And then Rumsfeld, the dog, starts barking outside and then goes silent.
It's actually Rumsfeld.
Rumsfeld.
Like Donald
Oh,
Rumsfeld.
Pardon me. And
Get it right, goddammit. If you're going to talk about it.
we're gonna get letters.
Don't look at me and be like, what do you correct me for? Get it right. This is bullshit. Will not
I'm a
stand
hack. I'm
for
sorry.
it.
I'm a fake geek girl. Okay,
Travis can't hear and the captions are on. I read it as well as you did. So there's no excuse to get anything wrong because you studied for the test and took it at the same time.
I got notes and everything.
Yeah.
And Meg busts through the door and she's like, "What's up, bitch? I'm back." And flops Dean against the wall. She's backing Sam and Bobby up, and walking real slow and cool, and his, hey, I killed your dad, and I'm about to kill you too. Mwahaha. Except, she's walked into a devil's trap, which is on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Of
So
all
she can't even
places.
take her foot and scuff it out and make it. She can't get out of it. It's beautiful. It's fucking brilliant. And then it's time for interrogation scene.
Yeah.
Dean wants to know what happens to his dad. Meanwhile, Sam is slowly, reading Latin and trying to get this demon out of the real Meg, who it turns out is this young girl who is still alive, trapped in her body, but will die as soon as Meg leaves because she fell off of a 5-story building. There's no coming back from that.
7 stories.
I'm doing the best I can.
That was
Scott.
reiterated several times.
I didn't realize you got a goddamn photographic memory. Whatever. It's
Mr.
fine.
Fucking Supernatural.
Yeah.
This is what I'm telling you. Scott is a bigger fan than all
Yeah.
of us combined. Meg reveals that John is alive. He's being held in Jefferson City, Missouri, and she doesn't know where he is, which is, of course, a lie. She absolutely knows where he is. And then Sam exorcises the demon. There's a little argument before then, which I thought was dumb, because Bobby and Samuel are basically, their position is she'll die.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, she's already dead? I don't know. Not better to keep her possessed forever. That's not the solution.
Yeah. See what I mean? It's just mirroring America. That's Terry Schiavo all over again.
Pull the plug or to
Bring
not
it
pull the
back,
plug.
yeah.
Yeah. What year was Terry Schiavo? About that time?
Oh, that
right?
was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Man, those Supernatural writers are deeper than I give them credit for.
Yeah.
Shit.
Touching on fucking topical
Yeah.
issues.
Oh, man. I learned everything I know from Supernatural.
And right before she dies, Meg, the real Meg, reveals that he is being held somewhere around a river.
Yeah, by the
And says
river.
the word
Yeah.
sunrise.
Yeah.
And Sam and Dean are like, cool.
Yep. John Winchester trapped in a goddamn blues song.
And they go and they find him in Jefferson, Missouri. He is in an apartment building called Sunrise Apartments. And Sam and Dean, they're worried. They think everybody might deem a demon. There's no way to tell. So they pull the fire alarm, dress up as firemen, and then go and kick some goddamn ass. It's very
Well,
nice.
speaking of ass, because I think Scott brought it up while we're watching the show. They really half-assed those firemen uniforms.
Oh, they
Yeah.
did, yeah. They're still
Literally
wearing their
jeans.
jeans and like work boots.
Jeans and work boots are
Yeah.
extremely flame retardant. Everyone knows that.
Jeans. It's actually
Everyone
impossible to
knows
catch
that.
jeans on fire.
Yeah.
If this lovely office that we're in catches on fire, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all good, actually. We're all
No,
wearing
I'm not
I'm wearing
wearing jeans.
polyester
Oh,
sweatpants.
sorry,
Yeah.
you guys
I'm going
are
up like
fucked.
a Roman candle. I will die first.
Yeah.
You're going up like a
And
dry
we're
Christmas
stepping
tree.
over your dead body, all right? There's
That's
no
fine.
saving you. I'm sorry.
Just, at least I'm burned and
Yeah.
I can't come back.
Yeah.
Nope, we're going to pour salt over your bones and leave you alone,
No,
all
that
right?
just make it worse. Do you watch the show, Ari? You salt
it
the
worse.
body
It
before
means-
you burn it.
Oh my
You
God.
salt the body before you burn it. Everyone knows this.
Okay.
Condiments are extremely important in the supernatural universe.
You can
Know
use,
this.
You can use mustard to kill a streaker.
Know
Everybody
this.
knows this.
Shapeshifters don't know shit about that Grey Poupon.
Damn right.
They find John. He is tied to a bed very sexily, I thought. And they sprinkle some holy water on him. He's good to go. They set him free, and they drive out to this shanty in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Don't know how they found that, but
Also,
lucky
in,
that
this,
they
in the
did.
struggle as they were leaving, they killed another demon.
Yes.
Yes.
With the
Yeah.
Colt.
Yes,
Yeah,
with
with-
the Colt.
with the
So they're
Colt.
down to
Using a bullet.
two
Yep.
bullets.
Yeah.
And Dean is kind of broken up about that. He, even though a demon was possessing him, the man he killed was still a human. There was still a human in there. And he certainly was innocent in all of this.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
Well, let's assume.
Let's assume.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the text that says he wasn't.
Let's assume
Right.
he's a swell fella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what if someone
just a
gets
nice guy, a good
Is he a
dad.
youth pastor?
yeah.
what if someone gets possessed by a demon and they're like, fuck yeah, let's
Well,
do
you know
this.
he was a youth pastor because he looked like he wanted to fuck a kid, and he had a
Yeah.
guitar. So
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like
youth
every youth
pastor,
pastor
yeah.
I've ever seen.
yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't approve that message.
That's just because you look like a youth pastor.
Oh, well.
They're in the
If
shack.
you've ever seen me, I do not look like a youth pastor. I look very
Okay.
intimidating. I look like the most intimidating youth pastor.
Yeah.
You look like you know
look
what.
like a
Jesus
youth-
is rad. You want to fuck?
You look like a youth pastor who was also an ex-con and
Oh.
turned his life around.
That's sounds like the plot to the next Gerard Butler movie.
Oh,
Okay.
Gerard.
By the way,
There-
he would have made a great John Winchester.
Oh my God, I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Although I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan does a good job.
I thought you hate John Winchester.
I do, but I think the actor does a fine job in making me hate him.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is good. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the shack. They've poured salt on the windows. They're like, we're good to go.
I'm gonna hunker the fuck down.
And Sam says, Dean, thank you so much for saving my life. Dean's like, so you're cool that I took the Colt with me? And their dad comes up and says, I'm proud of you, even though you wasted a bullet. It's fine. You saved your brother's life. Like, that's what's important. Because the demon that he killed was fucking wailing on Sam.
Yeah.
And then the lights flicker, the house shakes, and Sam, Dean, and John are like, oh, fuck, the demon's coming. It's coming up. And Sam goes to, like, make sure everything's secure, make sure the salt's there. And John goes, okay, give me the Colt. And Dean says, no. Because he's realized that that's not John.
Yeah. He's like, is this a fish market? Cause things smell fishy.
Yes, that's what he says. That's the line. And he's realized this because John would be so pissed if Dean had used, because Dean used the bullet.
Yeah.
And they're down to 2. Sam comes back in. Dean's like, that's not Dad. Sam stands by his brother, agrees with him, and Yellow Eyes reveals himself. And then proceeds to spend the next 10 minutes monologuing about his evil plan.
Yeah.
The reason why he killed Mom and Jess was because they were standing in the way of Sam, and Sam realizing some shadowy destiny, some agenda that is no good. He starts killing Dean from the inside because it turns out Meg and that other guy were his children.
Yeah.
And there's this whole thing where John the demon says in John's body several times, like, go ahead and kill me. And Dean and Sam just can't do it. The demon also taunts Sam, saying, like, use your powers, psychic boy.
Yeah.
Get this gun in your hand and pew, 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 pew. Like, that it's just not working. But John overtakes the demon, releases Sam from the wall. Dean's fucking almost dead on the floor. And Sam grabs the gun. John says, shoot me. And Sam's like, okay, and shoots him in the leg. And the demon goes down. And Sam checks on his brother. Dean says, go figure out what's going on with Dad. And John says, Sam, this demon's still in me. Kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And Sam refuses to do so. The demon escapes. And they're in a car, driving down the road. They've left the shanty. They're escaping this demon. John is yelling at Sam, like, why the fuck did you not just end it? Just kill this demon. I don't care if I die. Who gives a shit? What the fuck is Europe and who gives a shit? Yeah. And Sam he says, no, this mission is not worth any of our lives. It's okay. We'll find the demon again. We still have the gun. We still have one bullet. And then a truck comes out of fucking nowhere and smashes into their car. And the season ends with all three of them unconscious in a wrecked car.
God damn.
With a song with a tagline, like hanging by a thread or something.
Yeah,
something like
the
that.
song was a titch on the nose. Somebody's gonna die.
In Supernatural, every song is on the nose.
And Travis, I just have one question.
Yeah.
How much did you want to watch the first episode of season 2 after that?
Immediately. I
Yeah.
wanted to start it right.
Right the fuck then.
I wanted to start it
where's
so
your
bad that I'm
nephew?
going to
This place
throw
is
my
Sonic.
microphone across the table.
Those are expensive.
Yeah.
And that's the end of season 1.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Fucking hell.
12 more to go.
Yeah. We're almost there, guys.
Yep.
We're
Put
gonna be
another
doing this
mark
show
on the
until
wall.
we're like old.
Yeah.
Like 40.
Yeah. Sorry, Scott.
Don't. I'm the toughest son of a bitch here. Don't. In every sense
Oh,
of
yeah.
the
He's
word.
right. He's
I will
absolutely
outfight,
right.
fucking drink all of it.
One of those I could probably give you a run for your money.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Come to
So,
test me. Fucking find out.
Scott, I know you're just like barely holding in your thoughts, so let's fucking hear them. Let's do this.
Oh man. You know what? I'm a big fan of the first arc of Supernatural. I think
yeah.
it's the best out of 12 and a half seasons, because we're right in the middle of season 13 as we speak. I just watched the finale and it was great for the mid-season of 13. But I still think season 1 and 2 are the best, especially with the Yellow Eyes arc, and that's continuing into season 2, of course, as you can tell by the huge cliffhanger
Of
that was
course.
season 1. It's funny because I look at Supernatural through rose-colored glasses because I do love the show. And it's funny, I haven't watched these episodes in a very long time. These episodes were on in 2005. And so that was 12 years ago. And I don't know if I've gone back and rewatched season 1. So it's the first time I'm kind of seeing them. But it's funny, when I watched them, I remembered everything that was going to happen. It all came flooding back to me. And it's funny that the show really hasn't evolved that much. I do think that the actors are much better now, and they're really, they are the characters. As we mentioned before, they have nothing else in their lives, so that's who they are.
They go and fight demons on the
It's
weekends.
funny because
Yeah.
now I look at it as the progression of where they are now and how this kind of started it. And one thing that I appreciate of the first couple seasons is there's a lot more gravitas to everything that's happening. They still think about like the human side of things, as opposed to later on it's just kind of just kill everything that you see, and I like that. But however, of course, there's all kinds of just like we could go one by one and say that some of the ridiculous shit that happens. But what do you expect? I mean, this was a new drama on the fucking WB in 2004 2005. So I thought that the story was great, but it's still got that kind of like soapy bit to it.
Yeah.
You know, that that I think they've moved away in later seasons, but also maybe to the detriment of the show a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were 2 scenes in Devil's Trap that I just felt so nostalgic for thinking about the later seasons. And the first scene is when Meg dies. And they're they've put her very gently on the floor. They're getting her water. Dean's call 911. And then the second time when Dean is talking about how he's scared that he doesn't feel guilty about killing that man.
Right.
And I think I agree. I think the show loses something in later seasons.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When the demons basically become minion fodder.
Yeah.
I mean, they might as well be video game villains.
Yeah, they're henchmen.
Yeah, they practically
they're
disappear when you kill them.
Yeah.
It's no mess, no muss, no fuss.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we talked about something very early on with
Yeah.
the podcast was how the show is very much built like a video game.
Yes.
But it kind of has to be to keep it interesting,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think it would be. I think it would be a little tiring, at least for me, if in season, 6 they were still just struggle bussing to kill one demon.
Yeah, exactly.
It would just
I can't do it, dude.
it would be a little much.
Yeah.
No, they're just no, fucking waste them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
we
fucking
just
kill
gotta
'em.
fucking
It's fine.
and done.
But it is good in the tone of the first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
For them to kind of.
Well, it makes
deal with
sense to have this progression of them being more skilled, becoming better hunters.
Well,
Right.
the demons are also far more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
exactly.
beginning of the show than they are later on. They
Yes.
actually get weaker as they go on. But here's the thing. If you just like any action movie or anything that you watch, over 13 seasons, these motherfuckers should be dead every episode.
Yeah.
Every episode they should die, and they always find a way out, which is fun, but it's also okay, come on,
Yeah.
especially in these first couple seasons, they're so outmatched and they're so outnumbered, and they just squeak through on luck or something happening.
of
The
their
power
fucking
of
teeth.
Skin of
love.
their teeth
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Which is more entertaining, but you're right, you can't continue that. Then it's
Yeah.
just no, I can't believe it. It's the same thing as if they die all the time, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
You can't.
Which, oh look, huh?
Yeah.
But to go back to the vegetable talk about Cherry Shivo earlier,
Wow.
God. Go on.
for real, if these demons are running these human bodies ragged,
yeah.
Yeah.
would it be better to just exercise and then, we saw with Meg,
Just kill them.
just kill him, put him out
Just
of
kill
fucking
'em.
misery?
Just kill them.
Yeah.
If you can
I
kill them,
think-
just kill them. Here's the thing: they don't have the technology right now to kill
Yeah.
demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the Colt, and they only have the one bullet, and they don't know how to kill a demon.
Right.
So of course that does come later on. So it's but that is a part of the mythos of the show.
Yeah.
It's them obtaining items that do certain things.
Right,
And
yeah.
my favorite thing in these early seasons is the Colt.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
the episode where they describe the Colt and how
Yeah.
it was made.
Oh, yeah, that was a cool
I
one.
love all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. It really
Yeah.
builds up the backstory and the legend of these certain things. And I mean, the Colt is actually a part of the show
Yes.
for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
you
Up
know?
until I think season 5.
Oh, it even comes back after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it
As
even
far
comes
as I've
back after
seen,
that.
I know it comes back in
It was like a
season 5.
main artifact, just like John's journal is a
Yeah.
very important
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
It's not so much anymore, but for a long time, John's journal was the most important thing in
Right.
Supernatural. Is
Yeah.
what they had in John's journal, and it's they just slowly move away from certain things. It's just for instance, this isn't really a spoiler, but it cracks me up in these early seasons. They don't have a home base. They don't have
Yeah.
anywhere to go.
No.
So when they give them the bunker in Kansas, it's number one. It's okay, fine. Now we have a centralized place to go. They're protected inside or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's also the production team's fuck yeah, we figured out how to do less sets.
Oh, we don't have to keep dressing up every fucking
We just have
motel.
this one set.
Yeah.
Also, it's always bothered me. One time in 12 and a half seasons, they've been let's stay in a nice hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I have
It's
been thrown
they are
against 3
stealing
walls
money.
today.
They
Yeah.
are the biggest fraud case in American financial history. They have a never-ending sea of just credit cards, and they have cash on them for some reason.
Yeah.
Like they're robbing convenience stores.
They're hustling. They're
It's
hustling
and
people
it's
with cash.
they're literally stealing, but they're you know what? Let's be fiscally responsible and stay in the Moose Knuckle Inn.
I honestly, though,
That
I
is
think
the driving
part of that-
factor.
I think part of that is that if Dean would feel uncomfortable with anything too fucking fancy.
Yeah.
Like, for
Yeah.
him, something fancy is having magic fingers available. Like,
I used to laugh because it's just like they have so many phones. I'm like, who can keep up with all those contracts? Are they getting upgrades? Why does Dean have the Galaxy S8? That's not what.
Wait, you guys technically don't exist anymore, so who runs a credit check? How does this happen?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some things we liked in this episode real quick before we get into the things that we disliked or other general thoughts.
I mean, I loved the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yes.
That shit was
course.
fucking nuts.
Epic cliffhanger. Which
Yeah.
again, back when I started watching this, do you know what, man? That whole season leading up to that was just like, oh my god! And then that happened, and I literally was like, son of a bitch!
Yeah.
And then so you had to wait fucking 4 months before
yeah.
you got to see
Oh,
the next
man.
one.
Well,
That-
and then didn't you say that this was one of the first shows that was like that, like Supernatural and Lost and
Yeah, I
shows
mean,
like that
yeah,
all started
exactly.
kind of
Yeah.
dropping around the same time, but it was one of the first big, like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say one of the first, but it was a big cliffhanger on a, you know,
Yeah.
a big show that was like, whoa.
Well, cliffhangers on TV. I mean, when you think about it, when you go back to like the real dramas and things like that first began on television, I would probably say like that people actually cared about were in the early '80s.
Yeah.
When you had like Hill Street Blues and St. Elsewhere and things like that, and they were the first ones that really had major character development and arcs that carried out over. Because other than that, it's like people thought of TV as single serving. You know,
Right.
they
Yeah.
don't want it to go beyond that. That's why some of the most popular shows, like Law and Order, ran for 22 seasons or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they very rarely did anything outside the scope of a 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
Everything was very self-contained in a box, and it's like leaving people, you know, hungering like that for something else. Like back then, that was like, no, what?
Yeah.
And it's like now, it's like, no, you have to keep people wanting more.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to keep them coming back.
I remember being like 14 years old, and even at the age of 14, I was starting to get picky with what media I consumed. I was starting to like start things and then drop them just because they couldn't keep my interest or they weren't good enough. And why I decided to keep watching Supernatural, that first episode, the pilot,
Yeah.
and then this cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I was obsessed after that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I remember is that shortly after I watched this episode, I remember seeing a interview with Eric Kripke where he was like, I have a plan, and 5 seasons is when that story is finished.
Wow.
And I think it's so much more popular nowadays to start a TV show to tell a single large over-encompassing
yeah.
story.
Like
in
Breaking
multiple, in
Bad.
multiple seasons.
In multiple
well, Breaking
seasons, yeah.
Bad, Mr. Robot is
Yeah.
very much like
Oh,
that. It's
hell
all
yeah.
the same. Because here's the thing: once I think Supernatural found new life after, but it's funny. Some of these shows are created with the intent of it's only going to go X amount of seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's when the story wraps up. Because you can't ever imagine the characters doing something else.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they can't move on. Like Mr. Robot's a great example. That's a fantastic show. But that story is now into the 3rd season, and it's showing no signs of wrapping up yet.
Yeah.
And the creator has been like, I think we want to make 5 seasons to
Okay.
tell this story. Thing is, you love the show, but after that story's over, there's nothing else to do with those characters.
Yeah.
Because you can't see them getting past this huge moment.
Right.
And
But
that's-
Supernatural kept reinventing and reinventing, and actually, the conclusion of that arc opens the door for other things to happen in the Supernatural universe.
Yes.
So it's all linked together. But Eric Kripke did leave.
Yeah.
You know, he eventually left. He's like, I did what I wanted to do and turned it over to other people. And of course, you know, it's still fucking going.
Eric Kripke left, and I stopped watching the show for years. When did season 5 air? 2010 was when it finished.
2005. 2005 would have been 2009 to 2010.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching it in 2010 and did not pick it up back up again until 2015.
Then get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here.
Travis is
I've
here.
been down since day one. OG.
That's part of our charm, Scott. So yeah, it's
Never give up on the Winchester boys.
it's
Fucking A.
interesting to see like to go back knowing what I know now and see this ball get rolling.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this episode, or these 2 episodes, this is where things pick up. And season 2 is a wild ride.
I'm gonna say one of my favorite things I get to say. You really get to see some things start,
Yeah.
things you don't know about.
Oh, Lord.
I'm fucking hype about that.
God.
Specifically when Dean is talking about killing. I'm kind of glad I have somebody I can talk about this with. When he talks about killing and really not feeling any emotion towards that, that really reminds me of something from maybe season 12, season 10.
Yeah.
When another A demon is coming around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. There's honestly, at one point I'm gonna go back and I'll rewatch it all.
It's worth doing.
I will. And there are so many. One of the reasons I love the show is that we've talked about it so much, the arc of the show. But I love how they can dip out of that and do a monster of the week.
Yes,
That's their flavor. Is they do a monster of the week, and all they do is they throw one bone in there that's the connective tissue for the rest of the show. So they can have 2 or 3 episodes that drive the main story point, but then they take a break and they bring in a monster of the week, and it's almost like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
So I love the formula, but there are several things that reoccur. Basically, I don't think you can run a TV show for that long and not recycle some things.
Yeah.
But since they have multiple characters, they can have it happen to different people and different things happen and things like that. So it's just like in 13 seasons, they're going to run the gamut on monsters.
Right.
But the great thing is, if you look into most of the monsters they talk about, they have some root in real mythology, which I think is really cool that they're trying to incorporate, like, standard legends and things that people know. So they're not inventing just bullshit for the show.
Yeah.
Right.
And then later on, when they really get into heaven and hell, obviously demons come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Demons come from somewhere. Everybody says hell, that's fine. But there were no angels on the show for quite a long time. And then when they bring the angels in, it definitely brought in a different dichotomy. And I love the way that they portray the angels, because the angels are not always good.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is really good how they portray that. And I think that really exploded the show and let it be so many different things that it wasn't before. But also, this first couple seasons, it was distilled and more pure.
Right.
Yeah. It was a smaller story.
The focus was extremely pointed, and then it just kind of gets out of control. So again, I see everything through the eyes of, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Right.
So I kind of compare everything and how it's flowed one into the other. Yeah. But as a standalone story, the Yellow Eyes story is the best, I think, in all of Supernatural.
Well, and it goes from a very small, contained story about a family's personal drama to encompassing, and I mean this literally, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really what started drawing me in, is when they started cracking the code of, it's all these children that are exactly 6 months old, and they all apparently have untapped psychic abilities.
Yeah, magic goddamn powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I really want to see where that is going. Like, is there an army of psychics about to be risen?
We're about to fucking find out.
Yeah, I guess so.
One little thing that I really liked from this episode, first of all, the entire scene with Yellow Eyes in the shack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. We just kind of glossed over that monologue, but there's so much to unpack there.
And Jeffrey Dean Morgan was just incredible.
So good.
And not only that, but the color grading in that episode. I think you said something about it, and then I said something about it. But, like, Sam and Dean are, like, very stark with their colors. Like, you can see the color of their skin and all their shirts and everything like that. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan is basically in black and white.
Yeah.
Except for his eyeballs.
Yeah.
Your TV could just be fucked up. You don't know.
Or that. Or that,
It's
but
not.
I don't know.
I choose to believe it's a good job. I like to think that there's an editor there who was like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because we spent this entire season like giving like just scraps of a fucking villain, and then we
Yeah.
get introduced through the guy we've been trying to find for the entire fucking season, who was their dad.
It's like watching somebody cook something, and through the whole time they're giving you like here, taste this sauce, have a bite of this meat, here, have a bite of these potatoes, and then
the
they just
goulash
give you the whole fucking
comes together.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. I loved because this hasn't really been brought up yet, but one of the unofficial mottos of the show is demons lie.
Yeah.
Demons lie, demons lie, demons lie. But do you guys feel like Yellow Eyes was lying when he said, like, Dean, they don't need you as much as you need them? Or
I think he was just trying to get a dig at Dean.
Yeah.
Is what I really think.
Well, that's a recurring thing throughout the show is the familial bond between Sam and Dean, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like people always. I think that comes up a lot throughout the show. So I think it's a dig, but he is right in a certain way because as you can see the way John and Sam are acting, they just want to kill Yellow Eyes.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of apropos what he's saying, but I don't know. I fucking hate Sam, so fuck Sam.
Okay. Why do you hate
Go,
Sam
Dean.
without going into just like spoilers?
I just
Can
don't.
you?
He's just such a whiny bitch. He's just such a bitch.
Okay.
He is. He's such a bitch.
I think I have to explain like who I am as a person. Luke Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars character.
He's a bitch
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Not anymore, apparently, but
yeah. But
here's the
I don't
thing.
think Sam's a bitch.
I don't. Hate might be a strong word.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. Looking at Dean, they've done several things with Dean throughout this show. But the thing is, Dean has always been Dean.
Yeah.
Sam is definitely more moody and has
Yeah.
more swings, and more things have happened to him. And all, but at the same time, I just like Dean. Dean has been a consistent character throughout the entire show, and it's just I don't know. I think you can't have them both and not favor one or the other.
Well, it's like
If
Eddie
you watch
Van-
the show, like who's your
Yeah.
favorite?
Dean.
Yeah, Dean through and through.
That's
Do
like-
you have a favorite yet, Travis?
It's kind of Sam.
It's kind of Sam.
Yeah.
yeah, Travis.
We got
You two's-
Dean team and Sam
two's
team
bitches.
across the table.
Well, I think one of the reasons why I like Sam and one of the reasons why you like Sam, Travis, if I'm getting like a read on this, is I've said several times throughout the season, Sam reads very womanly to me, and he reads very queer. Like his storyline reminds me, like in any other show, I think they
No
would've
Winchester
written-
boys queer. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about there's no Winchester boys queer.
haven't been on the
John
same
and Mary Winchester wouldn't stand for that.
I do agree
They're
there.
spinning the middle.
Well, maybe Mary, but
Sorry, I didn't mean to get
No,
too loud.
it's fine. I could press all the audio.
But Sam, like his story reads as a queer allegory to me, and I think in any other show he would have been cast as a woman. I think he would have been a female. He would have been written as a female character. And
A
I
brother
think
sister dynamic would have been
Yeah,
really
it
strange.
would have been
on
interesting.
that.
And
It would
Yeah.
have
Sam is a
been
gender
yeah.
neutral name.
I mean, I can't.
Yeah, that would have been. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
could have been
It's-
Samantha.
It's too long into the run for me to really recast it in my mind because I can't imagine it. But that would have been extremely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It
Very
would have been
interesting.
different.
It would have been very
And I think it would have been different in terms of like how we interpret the mythos as well with like a woman. But I mean, I like Jared Padalecki, and I like the fact that Sam is a man because I do enjoy seeing like gender flipped narratives like that. But I think that's why, like, when it comes down to The Wire, I prefer Sam because I relate to that story more. Even though, I'm not being chased by demons or whatever.
Well, I got one speed and it's badass. That's why I relate to Dean.
We get it. You have two feelings, and one of them is anger, and the other one is beer.
Yes. No, I just like Dean. He's just good. He's just gruff. He knows what he's doing.
I like Dean too.
I
This
like
is
Dean.
one of the few shows where I really do. If I don't like a character, it's because I love to hate them. Like I really do love the characters in this show, and I do love Sam and Dean.
There
I mean,
are a few that you're supposed to, I think, kind of hate that I
Yeah.
do that are recurring, especially in the later seasons. Like, listeners, if you watch it long enough, I hated Rowena. I fucking hated her so bad.
Yeah.
well, I think you're supposed to hate Zachariah too from season 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Because he's
He's
that's-
so slimy.
yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Travis is just like, I can't be included in this conversation.
I think it was like one of the first few episodes where we were talking about Dean and Sam. Like I think it was the very first one where we were asking which like which
Yeah.
ones we preferred.
And you said both, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
I did said both, but I preferred Dean because he was the guy I wanted to be in high school. He was the cool, badass, classic rock motherfucker.
Yeah.
And there is a scene that I have pulled up on my phone, which is like, you know what? Yeah, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, yep, Dean is my favorite character.
Yeah. He loves his car.
Yeah.
He loves his classic rock. He likes to drink.
Yeah.
He likes to womanize.
Yeah.
He's a fucking pull
He's
shark.
broken. He comes
Yeah.
from an abusive household.
Yeah.
I get it. I get why you guys would want to be.
And he can fucking air guitar to Eye of the Tiger like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's very true.
Can we talk about the fact that Dean knew that John wasn't John because John was nice to him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
that was-
that.
I think that the funny thing is that's set up the whole season though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
Yeah.
Dean and Sam both, and it really comes out later in the show, is they both have grudges against John Winchester.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They both love him and they respect him, but there's huge grudges with the way that they were both raised.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's no surprise that he would be like, "Yo, what the fuck, man?" Like you would normally be really mad about this. I thought that's actually a nice little twist.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yes.
It was kind of the bad part again was Sam when he's like he's put to that decision. He's just like, no, and he just sides with Dean.
Yeah.
But there's no they don't expand on it. He's just like, nah, dog, I believe.
Well, I
yeah.
think it was
I believe
like I'm
him.
gonna trust my brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's
I
what they
mean,
were going for,
I
but
understand
yeah,
that,
I
but
agree.
it's
It wasn't
all
set up very
there's just
well.
so many. Like, let's go back to when Meg died, and but they were like, "What are you gonna do?" He's like, "Oh, I've been lying to the cops a long time. I'll come up with something." It's like it's just like back in 2004, you could just have dead women and dead white women laying around, and you call somebody, and they would just come. Take care of it for you. They just come take care of it. Who is this woman? I don't know. Why are all her bones broken? I don't know. I don't know. Clearly, she couldn't walk here. Her legs are shattered. I didn't carry the bitch in here. She's just here. She's just here, officer. And they're like, there's blood everywhere. Why is it like Satanist shit? You have a fucking pentagram painted above her head, and she's fucking dead. And he's like, why are you asking so many questions? Jesus Christ. Just get rid of this fucking dead white bitch.
Oh my god. That's how it was back in 2004. I can remember so many times I come
Simpler
from school. The cops were there. A dead woman was on the floor. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Nobody tried to find her.
Nobody cared. They don't call it. That's the other thing. There's no.
Yeah, they don't call her parents.
No, of course.
Like she's got ID.
What kind of notifications are going to go out? Hey, well, she was a fucking demon. Bummer.
Okay, question. How many
Killed
dead
her, bro.
bodies does Bobby have in the backyard that are just like demon women?
Oh, you just
Who's-
burned them up. You gotta burn them.
You gotta burn them.
So you gotta salt
Canonically?
them and burn them.
Yeah,
I
canonically.
think 5.
Yeah, probably. God, I love Bobby so much. Oh, can I talk about the fact that there were 2 instances in this episode where a dog literally died or an imaginary dog was about to die, and nobody seemed to care about the dog dying.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
These are bigger stakes than dogs.
How dare you say
Bigger
that? You're about
stakes
to
than
get
dogs.
a
Dare you
dog.
say that about Rumsfeld?
Yes.
Man, if I had to choose.
God, Rumsfeld is just fucking gone, and Bobby
Yeah.
doesn't seem to give a shit.
Yeah.
Meg
Well,
kills
fucking
Rumsfeld.
Demon Meg killed a dog.
Yeah.
And then she got her just desserts.
She fucking went back to hell.
I actually
gosh.
do want to say something about Bobby.
Yes.
Which is like Bobby appeared on screen and I was like, of course he's this like mullet trucker hat wearing overalls
The mullet
redneck
doesn't
dude.
last.
But I
Thank
was
God.
like, of course it's a guy like this who is a demon hunter because, you know, hunting animals isn't fun anymore. So let's go big or go home.
You sweet, sweet summer child.
Yeah. Bobby has a story.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he?
Bobby has
Yeah.
a story. He didn't just fall into it. Like,
Bobby
"Man,
gets developed.
I
He
was
didn't
on
just-
message boards and it sounded cool.
But
I wanted to try it.
I went to
I've always thought there was
demonhunterforum.com.
something else
But
out there.
just the aesthetic that they presented Bobby with, it just
Yeah.
fits so
Well,
well.
if you notice, there's a huge. Here's the thing: the hunters are all just archetypal stereotypes of Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't. Until way later on, there's no well-dressed hunter that does anything. They're all fucking. Basically, they're trying to paint a picture of like, if you're gonna do this, you give up your life. You got nothing.
Yeah.
You gotta give up your life. You wear flannel every day and Carhartt coats and fucking work boots that hurt your feet. No sneakers.
You dress like Ben.
yeah.
You dress like Ben. Goddamn.
Exactly. That's how they all. That's how they all look. That's the motif of the hunter. So that's the thing.
Yeah, I
is,
could kind of
that's
tell
why
when
it's
when they saw Caleb too.
Well,
he
it's
was
so
kind of the same way.
It's literally the identifiable thing on the
Yeah.
screen. You can see when they meet another hunter. You're like, oh, they're a hunter.
Yeah.
You know, there's no ooh like this. No, everybody it fits the way that they look. Now, demons in the later seasons all wear black suits.
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell a demon because they're all wearing a black suit.
And a nice tailored black suit.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Angels,
just
you can always tell because they're wearing some cheap ass pantsuit from.
They do dress the women in some
like-
pantsuits.
Yeah, in pantsuits.
And
yeah.
every
Some
male
kinda
angel must
khaki-colored
have
trench
a
coat or
trench coat.
something.
Yeah.
Must have trench coats. You got a lot of shit to carry when you're an angel.
Trench coat
I
mafia.
guess so.
Yeah, you got a
And you
lot.
can't just pop
to
it into
carry.
thin air because what? You have magic powers. You're gonna waste them on making things appear. Fuck you. Like
You know what? They don't use the powers enough.
Fucking true.
really
That
don't.
is the problem. Because I could fuck some shit up with those powers.
Oh.
Sam and Dean couldn't get me. You will not. I will murder you.
when Cass gets introduced, the entire show is just like, how are we gonna depower Cass this week?
Yep.
Like, how do we make him weak? What's going on? I fucking love Bobby though, and I think you're gonna like Bobby a lot too.
Yes,
you
you will
get a
love
very
Bobby.
small taste of him, and he gets a haircut. I think that
Yeah.
helps a lot.
That
I
helps. I mean-
forgot about that
Yeah.
weird like
Yeah.
bob mullet he
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Upsetting.
I mean, Bobby is a huge part of the show. I mean, that is
Fucking
the
A.
introduction of a very integral part of the show for
Yeah.
a long time. Jim Beaver
Yep.
plays Bobby.
And he does it well.
By the way,
show-
a little connection. Jim Beaver was also the gentleman that sold Walter White the
Yep.
fucking machine
Very
gun
true.
in the
Oh,
bathroom
no
in the
way.
final season of Breaking Bad.
Nice.
He's in another
Was Jim
show.
Beaver.
He pops up and
He's in
like
a lot of shows.
yeah.
He regularly does plays.
Yeah, Jim
Yeah.
Beaver is a huge character actor.
Oh yeah,
You'll
he's
see him in a
very
lot of
good.
things.
There- This show's bread and butter, other than like people who guest star on the show and then went off to do much better things. This show's bread and butter is like really great character actors.
Yeah.
Who in any other show would do like a one-off guest spot, but in
Yeah.
this show are a main character. Mark Pellegrino's like
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say Mark Pellegrino.
Yeah, Mark San Pellegrino,
Mark Fago.
Mark Perrier.
Mark Seagrams.
Mark LaCroix. But to go back to like how hunters get into the game, there has to be one that went into like a gun shop, and like he's looking at all the guns, looking at all the ammo, and then the guy comes up to him and goes, "So you come in here, like I say, you regularly hunt. You ever hunt werewolf?"
Yeah.
Well,
The shorter season.
Yeah, that would be
In this day and
incredible.
age, you probably have a lot of Reddit hunters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
A lot
Yes.
of hunters born from Reddit,
Yes.
like weird Facebook groups and things
Yeah.
like that, and a lot of there's too much. They leave so much unexplainable
Yeah.
in the show that there can be massive carnage, and Sam and Dean just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in some instances, they are literally standing in the middle of a crime scene,
Yeah.
and they're
And they're
just
still
like
there. The
they're
cops
saying
are there.
goodbye to the family. That's just like, thank you for saving us from this awful chimera that I've never heard of, but was gonna slaughter my family. I've never seen you. You were in my house, but we're safe. And I'm not gonna tell the police
Jack shit.
that you.
We've seen this earlier
Did
this
this.
season in episode 2, the Wendigo episode. Everybody is fine with lying to the police and being like, it was a bear attack.
Yeah.
Instantly. No questions.
They're-
Sam
the
and Dean just get the
bears-
fuck out
Those
of there.
tricksty bears.
Yeah, the
Bears
bears
with
in
tricks.
this show are fucking out of control, apparently.
Really
They're,
are.
like jumping through
Every-
skylight windows.
If
and-
you die in the
killing
woods,
motherfuckers.
100% the excuse given for your death is a bear. Not a mountain lion, not any.
No.
You didn't trip and fall off a cliff. It's always bear.
I also always just said Wendigo, and then on the show they're like Wendigo, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, nice,
Yeah.
very nice.
I don't accept that as the pronunciation.
Wendigo.
It's Wendigo.
It's Wendigo. I just say Wendigo.
Yeah.
Wendigo. Yeah.
That was a good episode.
was it just me, or when Meg was still like demoned out before they like exercised her, was she wearing like a wig or something? Because her hair was like 10 feet off of her head and just did not.
You
look-
try getting exercise. See what happens to your hair.
See what fucking happens.
when she was like on the phone with them and stuff, like it looked like she was wearing a wig. And then once they exercised her, they took the wig off because her roots were starting to come back to like brown.
That's because they were reading the wrong passage of the Bible. They were reading the one that exercises the roots of your hair.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. That would
It
come in
just-
handy for a lot of women.
There was just something that looked off about her hair to me,
Yeah.
like the whole time, and I was like, "This
I
doesn't
don't
look good."
know
I
why
love
they
how
would have
that
done
took you out
but
of
I
it. You're
would've
like,
been
her
surprised.
hair.
It
bah.
did.
The
It did.
wigs in this show are terrible. I mean, most wigs and most things are pretty bad, but
Yeah.
in this show in particular, it feels
I don't have a comment on their wig game. I don't
Yeah.
we have a lot of comments on like their fashion and things. It's so cute.
Well,
Yeah.
there is no fashion. They literally look the same now.
Yeah.
Season
yeah,
13.
yeah. Well, I
What they
meant
do is
like
season
other
one.
characters usually. I loved when like Yellow Eyes was getting all uppity about, oh, you killed my children, and it's like, Meg's fucking fine, you drama queen.
Yeah.
Like your
Yeah.
son's okay. Stop complaining.
No, the son was definitely dead
Yeah,
because he
son's
got
dead as
shot
fuck.
with a bullet.
Oh
With the
yeah,
Colt.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just making that connection. Okay.
Ah.
Wow.
I thought it was a different guy.
Thought you
No.
were a fan.
Only because I have to be, Scott. Only for this podcast.
Fucking poser.
No, man. I'm not going to have this bullshit.
All right, we are back in 2004.
Yeah.
fucking prep.
It's a
Go
good
back
year.
to American Eagle, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, good year. That show, put it this way, I am now married and I have 3 children. And when that show premiered, I was unmarried. I was not yet married. And I would not, that show premiered and I would not be married for another 7 months, 6-7 months after that show premiered. So basically, that show runs my marriage.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like the length of my marriage. Like that's how long I've been
That's
married.
crazy.
And
That's
you know
cool.
what?
Yeah, that
It's
show.
never going to be,
Yeah.
your marriage will never catch up
Yeah.
because that show's never ending.
I hope not.
That's-
I really do hope it
That's
goes
kind of like
forever.
how kids that are born in 2000 won't
Yeah.
have to forget how old they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know now they're starting this. They're trying to launch the spinoff again.
Yeah. Wandering or Wayward Daughters.
Wayward Daughters. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the fucking with Jodie. And,
Yeah.
And all that, which is a character that you'll meet later on in the series.
And
which
she
I don't.
is
equally rad.
quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's all right. I don't like her haircut. I don't like the short
Fair
hair.
enough. Fair enough.
I love her.
Yeah.
I like it. Jodie's okay.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know, like of beyond Sam and Dean of recurring characters. I mean, there's been a few that have come and gone, but honestly, my favorite is probably has always been Crowley.
That's a good one.
Crowley's my fave.
Who is a character you will meet later.
Yeah, Castiel is just kind of blah to me.
I love Cass.
No, I like him in certain moments, but I mean, especially how Misha Collins first plays him is of course central to the character, but very dry.
Right.
And just
Yeah.
like, and it's.
How did you feel about Benny?
I don't know. I mean, there's certain characters I like. You knew when you met Benny that what was going to happen to Benny happened
Yeah.
to Benny.
Yeah.
So you
were just-
see characters that are driving forces of the show
Yeah.
that have to get you from A to B, and then
Yeah.
they're no longer. And then you can see characters that are going to be in for the long haul.
Right.
You know. And now it's like, here's the thing: like they finally. I can't say that. Never mind. Stop. Major spoilers. I don't wanna-
It's like hearing myself talk.
yeah, I'll have to stop because it major spoil. Shit goes down.
Oh yeah.
Shit goes down.
Fuck
Yeah,
it.
Ben does that about once every episode.
Yeah, it's like I have
say
to.
something and be like, oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, I have
Usually
to.
I'll say something and Ben's like, fuck you, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You're just wrong, wrong.
I'll have to refrain, but I don't know. It's these were simpler times in Supernaturalville.
Yeah.
in these early seasons.
Yeah.
And it gets so much wider. But
Yeah.
again, I don't necessarily think that means better.
Right.
Sometimes.
I think when the show evolves, you gain some and you lose some.
Yeah.
And I think, like we said earlier, one of the things that we've lost that I really miss is that, like, care for everybody. The fact that they really established that it's not about revenge, it is about saving people.
Yeah.
I think we do. I think we lose that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
and
hunting
hunting
things, the
things.
family business.
Yeah.
And I think we do lose that later.
Yeah. Very, very much so.
Yeah. But right now we're we're still with it.
We're into fucking meat and potatoes.
Okay, there's a few other things I wanted to say about this episode for sure.
Yeah.
One, when Meg wants the Colt,
Yeah.
she calls and she speaks to John. She's like, come to Lincoln, Nebraska. They're in Iowa. And she's like, meet me tonight at midnight. And he's like, not possible. I can't be there. It's a day's drive. And she was like, well, you better be here. And he was like, I'll make it happen. And it's like, how are you going to make it happen? It's
gonna drop
here's
him
the
in
thing.
that
Here's the
Chevy.
thing. She had to be there by midnight. Said he couldn't make it. Not only did he make it, he beat them there.
Yeah.
He got there.
Got there
early. Got there early. Got the lay of the land.
Yeah.
Got the lay of the land. But then was felled by 2 flat tires on his truck.
Yeah.
And then he's like, where do I need to go? I'm going to go back inside where they are, the bad people.
Kick their asses.
And I'm going to, no, you don't. It's just things like that. It cracked me up. There's Supernatural, when you really watch it, they have no respect for the space-time continuum.
No.
There's zero
everything-
respect. The travel that they do is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything is one driving transition away.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
one
Well,
day's
I
drive
get
at
that.
most.
I
Yeah.
get that. But then you see it so much, it gets frustrating. You're like, come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
You
You're
gotta stop
driving
to
to
pee?
Oregon. You're driving to Oregon.
On a tank of
Yeah.
gas.
Oh, well, they catch
Yeah.
a case and they're like, let's go to Oregon, and they get there, and luckily nobody else has been hurt in the
Nobody's else
in the
dead.
3 days. In the 3 days it took them to get to Oregon,
Yeah.
they're still on the same case. Nothing else has happened that would prevent them from doing what they came to do.
Yeah.
Oh God, but
Oh God! Earlier in the season, this was the most ridiculous. Like, they went to an apartment, and it had to have been at least a week after the victim died. And they
Yeah.
went to an apartment, and there's still blood on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, that's how
That's the
the
Davo?
police were done. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Shadow. The police were done. There's no way that apartment would not have been cleaned and being ready to be sold to somebody else. It was just nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts, I say. Did anybody else think that the plan, like Meg, why was Meg so sure that John would not just bring her the Colt and then try to kill them?
I want to know how they were able to find a store on short notice that had an old school Western.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Iowa.
oh, by the
so-
way,
the Midwest.
that's still totally fired
Yeah.
and was loaded. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, demons, I'm going to give you a loaded weapon."
Yeah, maybe don't give them a loaded weapon.
yeah.
Maybe don't give the demons a loaded weapon.
Yeah. And then when he shot Meg got upset for just a second about it. She was like, why'd you do that? What a bummer.
Why didn't the demon just try to shoot John in the face with the gun? It worked
Yeah.
once. Maybe it would have worked twice.
Because
Yeah.
demons are stupid.
Yeah. I think he
I
maybe
think that's the solution.
really just wanted to tear into John. I don't know.
Maybe he was just
Well, the
mad
plan
at
was to
Meg.
capture it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to
Okay.
use him as leverage.
To get the other-
get
yeah.
Sam and Dean.
Right.
You know, which, of course, that is an overarching theme
Yeah.
throughout the entire series, is when there's two of them. Basically, what I'm saying is Dean goes solo. Dean
Yep.
should go solo. He's much more efficient. He's the Terminator. And he can just fuck people up and he wouldn't have to worry about his stupid brother.
The D1000.
Wow. I feel hurt.
Well, here's the thing. I can't, the beauty and the stupidity of it is their family. That's great. And the show relies heavily on that family dynamic.
Sure.
But they hold each other back so bad.
I think that's what
They
makes.
help each other, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's so.
If they weren't hindered by their family, would it be as interesting of a show though?
Well, and also,
I mean, I get it. I think
Yeah.
it's such. We talked about tropes earlier. It's just
Yeah.
such a trope.
It
that is
is.
heavily trotted upon.
Yeah.
That I think they finally realize they need to move away from it, but it's still the central driving factor of the show.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And it's like they lay that groundwork very early on.
Yeah.
I mean, in season 1 all the way through, it's like it drives home the fact that, like, we're brothers, we'll do anything for each other, and we have
Yeah.
to save Dad, and
Yeah.
all that shit. And it's
just
like,
step over his dead body. Let him go. Let him go. No, but I think I see what you're saying, and I think the show does touch on that. Of course, the lesson they always learn is no, family is important, and they should have learned
Yeah.
that lesson back in season 1, and they're still learning it in season fucking 8. But at the same time, their familiar relationship saves them, and not only them, but the fucking world more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
here-
a mixed bag.
They have the classic when they fix something, they break something else.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
That's how the show continues. You fix something,
Yeah.
you break something else while you fix that thing.
Earlier in the season, we said the number one way to die in Supernatural is to not listen to the Winchesters. The number two way is to listen to the Winchesters.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Number three is to be a woman. Those are the rules.
In Bobby's house, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're fucking done if you're a
fucking
woman in
done
Bobby's
if you're in
house.
Bobby's house.
What else?
There was a sweet Shining reference in the scene where they were the firefighters, and then two demons go and possess like one dude and one firefighter and come up with an axe. And then there's John and Sam
and
Dean
they
in the room,
break into
and
the-
they break-
yeah.
and it's like shot for shot with like the door and them on the other side, and you see the axe come through the door, and then it cut to black, and then the very next scene was them like escaping through the window, and then you see a hole knock through the door with someone's face in it.
Yeah,
I
here's
was like,
Johnny.
Good Shining reference there, and then in the where they were exorcising Meg, super obvious exorcist.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, vomit pea soup.
all that.
Well, pop culture is a big part of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
There's a
love
lot
that. I
of
love when
pop
shows
culture in the show.
reference other pop culture. That's always
Yeah.
a
Do little
fun
nods.
thing for me.
Especially when your, genre is horror comedy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And fantasy, the supernatural. I really loved these two episodes. I really loved Yellow Eyes. I loved the scenes between Sam and Dean. I did think it was a little... I get that he's obsessed with revenge, but knowing what happens later with Sam, I can't decide if this is character development or what, but the fact that he was cool with Meg being possessed does not seem very in character for him. Am I wrong on that?
It was all for revenge.
It was all for revenge.
What do you mean? Like,
Well, so Dean is like, we can't let this girl be possessed,
and
even
Sam
if she
was-
dies.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and
Sam was
Sam-
just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam was like, I don't know. That doesn't seem.
Well,
That's an overall. Again, that's just something that runs through all 13 seasons. Is how do they hold on to the humanity
Yeah.
Yeah,
in these situations? So, I mean, they lay that down early and they lay it down thick. And
Yeah.
it goes throughout the entire show, which is great because you have to have that driving force to make a character because you don't want them to be just robots.
yeah,
Right.
Out there doing that. But again, here's the thing. And sometimes when I really think about it, as much as I love the show, I hate it too.
Yeah.
Because it is. I want it to go forever, but at the same time, I know stories can't go forever.
Right.
Yeah.
They eventually need to shut it down. I don't know.
Well, the thing about loving something is understanding its bad parts of what
Of course.
what sucks
Well,
about it.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing: I will get addicted to bad things,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I won't stop them.
Yeah.
And I especially mean that with entertainment consumption.
Yeah.
Like here's a perfect example. I watched Lethal Weapon on Fox. From the first show I've watched of it, I was like, "This is garbage," and I've watched every one since because I just like, okay, I'll watch it, and then
Yeah.
I get a little bit invested, but I can still see the forest for the trees. I'm like, this show is not good,
Sure.
Yeah.
but I still watch it. Now, Supernatural, it will still grab me sometimes and make me realize how much I love it. But then I went literally whole seasons where I was like, ugh, I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fucking quitter.
Right.
I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna fucking ride this bitch till it dies.
Yeah.
And
You can't have filet mignon all the time.
No, you
Sometimes you
can't.
need some McDonald's.
no, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's the thing is, in every season, there's some episodes where I'm just like, and then there's some where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's really good. But it's such a mixed bag. But I remember when watching the show originally when it came out in 04, the first season 04, 05, I was in love with it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like it was to me it was one of the best shows on television at that particular time.
Yeah.
When it started, and still to this day, I mean, even then, like it wasn't a huge ratings getter, but it built a cult following extremely quickly.
Yeah.
And now oh man, I mean, the ratings still aren't great by network TV standards, but they're pretty good for the CW.
Yeah.
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 So that's one reason they keep it on. But this thing generates so much money outside of that. I
Right.
mean, they have whole conventions dedicated to this, not just one, several.
Yeah.
And it's always amazing, you know. I mean, Comic-Con,
we started a
this and
podcast
that.
about
yeah,
this.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you're
That
not
we
the
hope to
you're not
one
the only
day-
one.
Yeah, we're not the only ones either.
You're
Yeah.
not the only one.
But we're better than the other ones. That's what we're
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah. Well, I love your title, Hey Assbutt, which is great. But obviously the first person to get there was The Road So Far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The first one that got there
100%.
and said The Road So Far.
We're coming for
It's
you,
like,
Road So
that's it.
Far. Get ready.
That's the greatest podcast name for it. But then that also sounds like that's the after show hosted by Chris Hardwick.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is what it is.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like the after show hosted by Chris
It's
Hardwick.
the
So-
talking about The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's that show.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like we should cut this. It's a great show. But yeah. Point is,
wait. Wow, you talking shit about Walking Dead?
hey, Assbutt is great.
Your
No,
rival
I'm talking
gang.
shit about The Road So Far.
Oh no, it's not talking shit.
It'll be fine.
Hey, I've never even listened to The Road So Far. I just know.
And you might
that
listen to this
obviously-
podcast
I
that
will
you're
listen
on.
to this. I just know that is the name of a podcast about supernatural because it fucking has to be.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because it has to be. I mean, I'm sure there's. I'm honestly right now. What else is a big thing from Supernatural that could be a podcast name, and we'll find out if there is a podcast name that about Supernatural.
Shag Ass the podcast.
Yeah.
Shag.
Doubtful.
No, Shagcast.
It was
Shagcast. Shagcast.
That is a different show.
The other one's about shipping.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There's a lot of supernaturalisms.
Yeah.
If you watch the show, that you'll pick up on. I mean, it may. I kind of still wish demons were like that.
Yeah.
I do a little bit. They would have moved past this by now, but it raised the stakes a little bit because I think demons there, especially in the later seasons, get to be a little bit of a laughing stock, especially when they introduce Crowley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes on a different dynamic. You
Yeah.
know, it's just so different, and that's I think part of that is great because it's the you see the show growing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You see it changing, which is you have to if you're gonna last that long. I don't care who you are. Running 13 seasons of a fucking hour-long drama is impressive as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. I don't care who you are or where you're at. Though you can't name many shows that have gone that long.
No.
You know, and actually still retain viewers and people still fucking watch it and like it.
And the shows that have gone that long are not shows like Supernatural. They're shows like
No.
Law and Order,
Yeah.
which are chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
completely episodic television.
Absolutely.
It's
Say
just
what you
episodic
want
television.
about Supernatural. It's not always, like Ben said, filet mignon, but it is a full meal as
Yeah.
far as stories go.
Oh my god! Where was I reading? They were breaking it down somewhere where if you were to watch certain shows, how long it would take. And I mean, to watch Supernatural at this point, it's well over 200 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
264, actually.
So I mean, I think you're looking at a solid 12, 13 days or something around that.
Yeah.
neighborhood. Almost 2 weeks of watching Supernatural.
Join us for our new podcast. We're going to watch Supernatural in 2 weeks.
Not possible.
No, we'll die.
You die.
We'll
You die. You'd be like, I slept through 6 more.
It would be like Broken Record, but just watching television.
Lord.
No. As much as I love Supernatural, I couldn't watch that many in a row.
Yeah.
I have a cap. Binging is a strange thing for me. There's only if when I watched Stranger Things 2, I was dying for it when it came on. I could still only watch about 2
Yeah.
at a clip because I was just like, this is just too much. I should be doing something else. So people who do that shit were like, oh, Thursday at midnight or 2 a.m, blah 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 on Netflix premieres, and they're like and then they're like, oh, calling out of work tomorrow, and then they just watch it straight. I'm like, you didn't enjoy that. You just sucked that shit down like lines of coke. You didn't retain any of it.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes me long sometimes for when Supernatural premiered, like the first few seasons. Netflix was just a burgeoning thing. There was no streaming service.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
DVDs.
There was no go on to Apple and
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
download the episode. You had DVR was a thing.
Yeah.
You could DVR it, but other than that, it was still a week-to-week prospect. And I miss that of having that yearning of you see that cliffhanger and like I said earlier, waiting 5 fucking months
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see what happened. And now it's just like meh, it's just instant.
Yeah.
That's why so many people will watch things many times and then I didn't catch that before. Of course you didn't because you're fucking taking it down like crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so it makes me. I like that that instant gratification, but I also miss the longing that I had for things when they made me wait for them.
And Travis, you lucky duck, you only need to wait a week to see.
I know.
Season 2, episode 1.
Man, fuck that. Just they go to bed. If she goes to bed, you just come out here and be like,
Yeah, like
He's
man.
gonna be like
watch
all
that.
cut up by
Just-
Thursday.
On
just
Break
watch
TV.
that shit. Just watch that shit. Yeah, I mean, but you have a mountain to climb, my friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
You have a mountain.
We
you
all
will, Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun ride.
You'll die before you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely
You'll
sure.
be
We will
dead.
all be
Yeah,
dead
you'll
before
be
we can
dead
actually finish
before
this.
you do.
But the show, our podcast, will still be airing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's gonna be set up for millennia.
Yeah.
Like that movie with John Malkovich.
Oh yeah, no one's gonna see it for like 100 years or
Yeah.
something like
Oh,
that.
Yeah, nobody
We're all
who's
gonna
alive
be
will see
dead.
it.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on this episode before we go into like season wrap-ups?
There were some things I wish they had done. Like I was saying earlier, I really wish that when they go into the apartments, when Sam is pouring the holy water on John,
Yeah.
that John had just like leaned up and said, "Great, thanks, Sam. Now I'm cut up, tied to a bed, and wet." Yeah,
Oh, that scene where John is tied to a bed. I was like,
that gave you some ideas. That make you like
no,
John for a second.
That's like kink 101.
Why don't you like John? I have to hear this.
Because I think he is a bad father.
Well, no shit, Joe.
Yeah, that's why I don't like him. He's like abusive.
You
I
need
don't
to
know.
get rid of your own daddy issues and fucking appreciate a strong father figure like John Winchester.
My dad's great. John's a piece of shit. Like,
You know what though? If I'm hunting demons, I don't want a dad's like, I support you totally. I might need a little opposition to really make me a tough bitch.
he kicks his son out of the house for wanting to go to college. Like, disowns him.
You know what though?
Which is
Can
crazy.
you blame him? Because if you're like, you want to go to college, motherfucker,
I
there's
can.
werewolves and vampires out there. You're not gonna make it, Sam. You're not gonna make it. You're gonna fucking die. There's monsters around every corner. They're under the bed. They're in the ceiling. Your mom burned up, levitating above your head. Like you can't be like, go out there and be a CPA. Like the world is on fire.
Why not? Plenty of people do it in the supernatural universe.
No, it's not.
Sam's not the only
That's what
lawyer in
happens
the world.
real world. That's what happens in the real world. I'm like, fuck this noise. We're going to live in a cabin in Montana. No electricity. Fuck these demons. It's not like go to college.
That is
son.
a sad way to live your life.
Shit.
Lawyers exist in the supernatural universe. Normal people exist. Why can't Sam just have a weekend hobby? But I mean, I know why because I've seen most of the show. But like, John refuses to talk to him. It's fucked up.
College just doesn't work in that equation. I'm sorry, college just does not work. If I was the dad, I'd say the same thing. Like, you're not leaving this fucking house. Like, ever
If you were a
again.
dad, you are.
Ever again. Yeah, if I knew that shit.
Oh
I
God.
knew that. And what if right now I was a hunter? I told my wife that's what I do. I come to do comedy as my cover, and after I peel out, kill monsters. It's like, no, so I can't have that as a side hobby.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of a full-time job.
Yeah.
You know, and I just can't imagine being like, you go, son. Go out there to California, fucking.
I
study
can't.
that.
I don't think it's that
doesn't
crazy.
matter because the apocalypse is around the
And
corner.
even
at
if
any moment.
even if I was totally against it, even if my kid was like, I knew monsters existed, my kid was like, I'm gonna go to college. Even if I was totally against it,
I'd be like,
I
you're going to
still
Monsters University, motherfucker.
have
Sally's
fun
gonna be
with
your
some of
roommate.
it.
Yeah, that's
but
a
even-
great crossover, by the way. Supernatural.
Oh my
just comes
God,
in. Sam and Dean
amazing.
kill all the monsters.
God, they're pushovers. They don't do anything
No,
fucking
they don't
scary.
do shit.
They're
kill
super
Mike
nice.
fucking Lazowski or whatever.
At the end of the
fuck his name
first
is.
movie, they're fucking comedians.
Yeah. Kill fucking.
It would be the equivalent of killing us.
Yeah. Well, they're monsters. They should die.
But even if, all right, racist. Even if I was totally, I had a kid who wanted to go to college, and I was totally against it. My reaction would still not be to cut them out of my life. That would just motivate me to
You
be
would
even
arm
more
them?
like, here's a
arm
gun.
them?
Call me if you need any help. I'm moving to your college town. I'm moving to Palo Alto. Have fun, buddy. Like, I just hate him so much.
I love you.
He's such a bad dad.
He totally stifled his education.
Well, it's not just that.
There's
It's
larger
other
shit
things.
to worry about out here. Plus, why do you need to go to college when you can make fucking as many credit cards as you ever want? You don't need an education.
There's
That's
like
not
a
wrong.
pursuit of knowledge
They've got
thing going on
unlimited
here.
money.
Sam
They got
likes to
unlimited
learn.
money. Sam likes to learn.
And that's on. It's not just the college thing. It's leaving them alone for days at a time, using his children as bait. Things that happen in season 2 that I can't talk about yet.
Sure.
I just
I get
don't think
that.
he's a good dad. It's like
Nobody said he was a good dad.
yeah, it's like
But-
Gendo Akari from Neon Genesis Evangelion, John Winchester,
Walter White.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Walter White. Dads who like go to work instead of their son's soccer games. My dad. That's how it goes.
I really like if they can print out any fucking license or badge that they can have. Somebody could probably get them a certificate or degree, just print it up,
A certificate.
just
Yeah.
run it down to the Kinkos.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You still want to like learn things.
You can't be in the FBI without a college degree. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they get to pretend like they have a college degree all the time.
Sure,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's just like a
So you mean-
means to an end. I think there is a pursuit of knowledge thing going on
Oh, yeah.
with Sam. Sam is
Well,
very
his
smart.
knowledge should be buried in his demon books.
His dad's goddamn
on,
journal.
on his demon studies.
Oh god,
So you can get that demon PhD and fucking knock these motherfuckers out.
I'm
got
just
a
waiting for the
midterm
day
on-
when Scott's kids grow up and they're like, "I'm gonna be an accountant." And you're like, "Fucking hell no! You're gonna be a comic like your dad."
It's a little different. I'm not saving the world with my dick jokes. I'm not out here
Wouldn't it be
fucking.
amazing if you
You
were
saved my life.
What if there was an episode of Supernatural where they killed a monster with dick
Patch
jokes?
Adams?
Oh, that hurt my feelings.
Hey, the guy was fine, probably.
I don't want to be Patch Adams.
All right. Any other final thoughts, questions, concerns, hopes, dreams?
Yeah, I hope this show goes on forever.
I hope it never ends.
Forever. As much as I might bitch about some of it, like literally, I'm not kidding. I will shed a tear when this show goes off the air.
Yeah.
There's been a few shows like that that made me very sad when they weren't around anymore, and this will be. It's been a fucking 13 years of my life. This
Yeah.
fucking show has been on, and I've never missed an episode. So I will definitely be extremely sad. But the thing is, I also look at it like I don't even see the end as being remotely near. Like I think it's going to keep going, and it's
Yeah.
like, here's the thing. It's kind of like, do I want it to get old and shitty, or do I want it to go out when it's actually relevant
With a
still?
fucking bang.
Yeah, like relevant. I you know, there's too many shows that you watch that are just long in the tooth, and then they just kind of peter out, and you're just like, whatever, it's over. It's like I'd much rather see a blaze of glory on the show than
yeah.
just watch it fizzle when the ratings aren't there anymore or
Right.
anything like that. But it's I don't know. I just who knows? We could be fucking season 17. Fucking
believe that.
the American Idol years. or
Yeah.
something. It's just I don't know. It's such a crazy show. I recommend it to people all the time.
Yeah.
And people that don't watch it scoff, and people that do watch it are like, "Holy shit!" Right? Like
Yeah.
it is such a thing when
Yeah.
when people have watched the show, especially people who have watched all the show. They're very loyal. Supernatural fans are fiercely loyal, and like
Yeah,
we
they
said,
are.
they
Oh, we
yeah,
know.
they are,
Yeah.
and they always pick people on the show that they like and they don't like. So again, my main point: fuck Sam. I don't like Sam.
All right, we'll fight about it another day.
He's okay. I mean, you know, but yeah, Dean's my boy. I don't want to have sex with him as my wife thinks, but I do. Well, maybe, but I like him.
I mean, if he asked, who knows? You know,
Jensen Ackles is. I'd have a beer with him.
He's a pretty man.
He's not a bad looking man.
he's attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can agree. Pretty much everybody in this cast, pretty attractive.
Yeah.
Even Bobby in his way.
Yeah.
when we get to see him sans mullet, maybe.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
I'm like a silver redneck fox.
Wow.
Well, all right. Look, I don't want to fuck Bobby. Okay. Well, Scott. Changing the subject.
Did you get that segue on eBay?
He'll put you in that devil's trap.
I'm gonna
Say it
try
like
it.
Meg.
All right.
Yeah.
Suffer like Meg did.
Scott, thank you so much for being our first
Yes.
guest.
Thank you. First guest ever.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm the first
guest.
guest.
of the
You're the
month.
first
Yeah.
guest.
Oh, you fuckers didn't tell me that. You rope-a-dope me.
We wanted to say something special for our season finale,
Yeah.
and you were it.
Hell yeah.
So, where can we find you?
You can find me on all social media at the Scott Eason, TheScottEason. That's on the whole gamut: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can also like the Epic Comedy Hour Facebook page. It's a wonderful show I run right here in Huntsville, Alabama. That's been going for over 6.5 years. So give that page a like, and you find me performing here at Stand Up Live and multiple other shows here and in the region. So come out to a show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
No, thank you for having me. It was great. I mean, I love the show, and I take any opportunity to talk about it that I can.
Yeah.
And not get looked at like I'm a fucking crazy person.
So we're doing it behind closed doors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're in an apartment huddled on a corner right now. Like, what do you think?
Nobody can see us. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
Behind
We're
our
just
shame.
a shitty coven.
Not very good with magic, but we are good about
I'm okay
talking.
with that. Well, Dean's all the magic I need.
That
But yeah, I love the show. So anytime, I'd love to come back anytime. You just let me know.
Yeah, we'd love to have you
Absolutely.
back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love Supernatural.
All right, so this has been our season
Finale.
1 season finale.
Yeah,
Episodes 21 and 22.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I
I just really want to go watch that season 2 1 episode.
Yeah.
You can't.
I know.
You gotta wait 1 week.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just
you see where
Travis,
we got
you're just
hooked.
blown
Yeah.
away.
I'm starting to see where, everyone got hooked and,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I think this is the first time where you have been like, I get it.
Yeah. It really has.
Yeah.
I like it with the whole, the story arc finally wrapping up and everything like that. It's just been really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're going to do a seasonal wrap-up, talk about some of our favorite moments in the show and in our podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and ask, real quick, we're starting best, worst episode of the season. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? Travis, do you want to start?
Well, my favorite... I think my favorite episode was probably Home. Mm-hmm. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
Not just because I liked the dynamic of, them seeing the ghost of their mom and their mom helping out with their little thing.
Yeah.
I also just really like poltergeist lore and stuff like that. Like, putting the 4 things in the sides of the house and things like that. So I really liked that episode. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. Let's all do our favorite episode and then we'll do our least favorite episode.
We're gonna start.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna state an honorable mention first because I just can't not say it. The Benders,
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
fucking solid. But top episode, just because I fucking love it. I love the whole goddamn thing about it. Hell House.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
What did you like about Hell House?
Oh, I just really loved how they had to work, or let's say work in quotations, with regular humans about the whole thing, and then just the whole thing with the people who kind of made it kind of happen. They just were they picked fucking symbols out of a book.
Yeah.
And one of them worked, and one of them was just the thing from the back of a Blue Oyster Cult album. Mm-hmm. And then
then the other one was a real fucking Striga symbol.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then having to figure out how to kill the thing on the fly.
Yeah.
Wow, that was fucking cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool. My favorite, again, honorable mention, The Benders.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Cannibal Hillbillies,
Hell
and
yeah.
I love the one-time woman. I think that's what I'm going to start calling this trope of having a woman who helps them every week, the one-time woman.
Yeah.
Having the one-time woman help, she was just one of my favorites of that season. I think her name was Kate. She was great. So yeah, I just really love that episode. I
Yeah.
also love The Most Dangerous Game. But favorite episode of the season, Faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Uh-huh.
The mud, the monster, the Southern Gothic feel you get from the revival tent.
Yeah.
The twist where it's not the faith healer, it's the wife. Oh my god. And an episode that ends with a bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
It does.
It does. Sam and Dean don't really save the day because Layla is still gonna die.
Yeah.
I just love that episode, and definitely a high point for me this season.
Yeah.
Least?
I think we can all agree on
Yeah.
the least favorite
I
episode.
think all of our
we
least
can
is
all
the same.
agree.
Yeah.
Ready?
You want 1,
Yep.
2,
Dead in the water.
bugs. Damn it,
God damn it, Ben.
Ben! Stop lying.
No,
Okay.
it's bugs. It's bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bugs.
And
Yeah.
I can go through like 1,000 reasons why Bug is my least favorite. I'm not going to. Go listen to that episode.
Yeah.
We've done an episode on it. You should all know why we got so drunk.
Why are you
Yeah.
starting with the season finale of a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all,
Go back.
this is the season finale.
Yeah.
Rewind at least 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Fucking
Come on.
Yeah, stop
This,
it.
like this, it's gonna be titled with season 1 finale on it. So,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you should know. You should know.
But here's where, because the other like least favorite for me was Route 666.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
actually thinking about this. I think if we had a most disappointed category episode, Route 666 would be that, because I remembered it being a lot crazier and worse than
yeah.
it was. I remember it being insane. It really wasn't.
No.
I kind of remember it was like a Twisted Metal boss fight is what I remember. But
Yeah.
I guess I'd put way too
like
much
a,
rosy
like a
colored
Mad
glasses.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I remembered.
Mad
Yeah.
Max road fight,
This
something going on.
crazy car driving around, and none of that happened.
Yeah, no.
But the reason why Bugs ekes it out as worse is that
Runs
at
with
least,
exposition.
even though they're both episodes, runs with exposition really. Even though they're both episodes that deal with like uncomfortable, POC issues in a bad way, at
Yeah.
least Cassie is integral to the plot. Whereas the Native American representation in Bugs might as well have been a Wikipedia page.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's how
absolutely.
important he was. And so that just like, it's still not good, but it's just a little bit worse for me. And that's why Bugs is my least favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the dumbest thing that happened this season?
I'm gonna go with the infinite sink stopper situation.
Yeah.
Like, just what was going on? What was going on with that?
Some PA had fallen asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
Whoever was in charge with continuity for that scene had just not paying attention.
And then I have a runner-up for that is the kid climbing into the fridge in Home.
Yeah.
Which it was my favorite episode, but that was the dumbest moment of that episode.
That fridge was empty.
That fridge was empty, and I'm sure they like just moved in, but like
There weren't
our-
shelves in it.
there weren't shelves. What kind of fridge doesn't have shelves?
Yeah.
And
Are you just throwing a body in the fridge?
no, yeah, I don't know. And then, like, my fridge throughout my entire life has always been so full that you can't even put another single thing in it.
Yeah.
You have to remove things to put things in.
Even Indiana Jones in Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
Yeah.
to escape
Yeah.
a nuclear explosion, had to empty out the fridge he hid in of shelves.
Yeah.
And that was in a fake town
Yeah.
where there was no people or food. Yeah, I agree. And then Infinite Sea Stoppers, that of course was from Dead in the Water. It's
Yeah.
the title of that episode. Go re-listen to that too.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
What about you, Ben? What's your dumbest moment of the season?
I'm gonna have to go. Well, it's a little bit bittersweet, but the scene where Dane is in the mausoleum, where he's trying to like find like the body of the dad.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get the doll,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, he hits it. He pulls out a gun, hits the glass with the butt of the gun, and then looks at himself. What the fuck are you doing? And then shoots it open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Because it's funny, but it's also, come on, man.
Yeah. What are you doing, Dean? You're a
Yeah,
hunter.
come on.
Get it together.
Get it together. My dumbest moment came from Asylum.
Yeah.
And it's where the two characters who they have to protect,
Yeah.
they're on a date. I don't know if you guys have ever been on a date before, but
a
usually
mausoleum.
when I'm on a date, the point is to spend time with the person you're on a date with, not just take them somewhere and then leave them alone, which is what happens.
So
it's
that's
like-
not what to do on a date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
take notes,
Let me
Travis.
write that down. I've never been on a date before. Let me write this down.
Unless you don't want to have another date with this person, don't do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
they
just take them to
they
Red
are
Robin.
long-term girlfriend boyfriend. This is like an anniversary for them. And
Was it?
I don't
Yeah.
remember, but it was like they had been dating for a while. Like they were together.
Yeah.
And he takes her to a haunted asylum, a place she does not want to go and has no interest in.
Yeah.
Leaves her, and then some fucking ghost comes up to him. He immediately assumes it's her and starts making out with it. Like, You were a terrible boyfriend, and she broke up with you at the end of that episode, and she was totally right to.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I mean, making out with a ghost is like the goal, though.
Yeah, but like if you're cheating on your girlfriend.
Well, I don't have a girlfriend, so I don't have to worry about
Well,
that.
okay, yeah. I mean, it's fine for you. I'm just saying that this fuckboy, she could do better.
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying.
I guess so.
I like how since Scott's gone, you're really okay with saying some weird shit.
Yeah.
You kept it pretty tame, but not anymore.
Nope.
I'm not trying to kink shame you. I'm just saying, be yourself. That's what I want you to do. Open up that box. Just kick it the fuck open.
Yeah.
I was looking at some notes from that episode, and I said, "Fuckboy from Asylum who left his girlfriend on his date and then made out with a ghost." What?
Yeah.
What is happening? Favorite quip from the episode, from the season, not the episode.
Like Deanism or just quip?
Deanism, quip, whichever floats your boat.
One of my favorite Deanisms is whenever Sam starts, like, doing something that Dean disagrees with, is he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, just multiple whoas. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa,
Sam.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Sam. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sam.
The Crash Bandicoot, yeah.
And then I also really like where anytime Dean calls Sam Sammy.
Yeah, don't call me Sammy.
So cute. Brothers.
Yeah.
Driver picks the music. Shotgun shucks their cake hole.
Oh my god.
Shag ass.
Shag-ass, which apparently, according to Scott, he told this off the air. Apparently, shag-ass was something people actually said.
I don't
See-
believe that.
Shit, like
I
I've
don't
heard
believe
like
it either.
I've heard at like baseball practice we're gonna shag some balls. I've heard that. I understand what that means in a
Yeah.
sentence. It means you're gonna practice taking grounders, which sounds kind of sexy and weird.
Yeah.
Shagging balls, taking grounders. Rawr.
Yeah. You really took a rope on that one.
Shag ass was on my favorite clips list too. Driver picks the shotgun shuts his cake hole. Sam, a couple of Sam quips.
Yeah.
This is the best of mullet rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greatest hits of mullet rock, and Sammy is a chubby 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that Sam, when he was younger, was a chubby 12-year-old, and I just
But
I mean, he wasn't, but
yeah.
I like that idea. And then another honorable mention: all the names, the fake names, Mulder and Scully,
Fake names.
Hamill and Ford,
Hamill and Ford. Sam and Dean.
Sam and Dean, very fake name.
John Bonham, I think, is what he gives him in Scarecrow.
Yeah. Oh,
The drummer from Led Zeppelin.
that's another favorite episode. Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Fucking fantastic.
And let's talk about some like personal podcast
Podcast.
stories.
We are. Stay tuned for our what was it? What was the Doug superhero show?
Stay tuned for Podquack, a show where we talk about Darkwing Duck.
Yes.
Ah!
I am
Oh
the
my
terror
God.
that quack or casts in the night.
Darkwing Duck, boom. When there's trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck, boom. Okay, let's talk about some personal podcast stories. What was your favorite behind the scenes moment?
Actually, I have a least favorite moment that just floats to the top of my head first.
Okay, hit
Which
me.
was editing a couple episodes. Like, my software is a little out of date because I need to like update my computer and some other things like that and other reasons why it's out of date. But because of the way I edit episodes, sometimes I would put it all together and then get ready to like export it, and then like the last 10 minutes of an episode will be gone. And then it takes me like another 45 minutes to go retrieve that 10 minutes, cut it out, bring it back to my original file, and then put it back where it goes.
Yeah.
You watched me do that one
have,
time,
yeah.
and it was a nightmare.
It took like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
For you to find this 10 minutes.
But what were something else favorites?
Ben, you want to?
Yes. Which episode was it with all the orc puns?
It was a couple episodes ago.
It was a couple episodes ago when we got Ari. We pissed her off so hard.
Oh, Lord.
We would not stop making orc puns. It was so
I
fucking
was just trying to get through my thing.
Yeah.
And she just whips this notebook at Travis, and it was amazing because
Oh,
it just
yeah.
landed. It didn't like flip or anything. It just landed. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
My favorite behind the scenes moment, which is also my least favorite behind the scenes moment, losing the last 45 minutes of Bugs.
Yeah.
And having to
So,
record it over
if-
again.
If you've listened to Bugs, and maybe you've listened to it multiple times because you just love us so much,
Yeah.
you may notice a continuity error between some of the moments, and that is because we were so drunk for
Yeah.
that episode.
Annihilated.
Yeah.
There was one moment where I got up to pee and paused the recording and then came back and thought I had resumed the recording
And had not.
and I had not.
Nope.
And we just had to like come back 2 days later and just re-record it, and it was all a mess.
From then on, we made a rule that Travis could not get drunk while we record the
Yeah.
podcast. Because not only did we have to re-record a section of the podcast, it was also the part where I went on about how much I hate the episode.
Yeah.
And like how much I hate the Indian burial ground trope.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to just like revisit that and like drum it up again. It was
Yeah.
it was memorable, but I also think it's a super funny story and just like a little fun like hey, sometimes,
Sometimes
shit
we
happens.
fuck some shit up.
Sometimes shit gets fucked
And
up.
that was also like really early in our recording like
Yeah, 'cause
days.
that's like
Yeah.
episode like 5, right?
It was
5 or
episode
6.
7,
Seven.
8.
Eight was Bugs.
Yeah.
And so we still hadn't like gotten anything like really
Down.
down
Yeah.
yet. Like everything was still real. I
We
mean,
got all that
everything.
tequila down, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, we really did. Woo, buddy.
Yeah, did we?
What about y'all's favorite episode? Like, what's y'all's favorite episode to record? Or what was y'all's favorite episode to record? We'll talk about and
The
stuff.
one where we made all the orc puns.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
fun one.
Both of you guys?
Yes.
That was a lot
And
of
this
fun.
this one was so much fun.
Yeah.
It really was. I loved having a guest.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but Scott was great. And, we're going to have more guests in the future.
We are, so look forward to that. If you
Yeah.
enjoyed us having a guest on the show,
Next time we're going
let
to have
us-
a guest who,
let
like,
us know.
loves
We will-
Sam and hates Dean.
we will have already recorded that episode, so it's too late. But let us know if you like having guests on the show. Tentatively, we do have at least one guest per month plans right now. So I think we're going to just do it bigger and better for season 2.
And, if you have something to say and you want us to talk about on the podcast, also let us know. We are planning some, like, listener question episodes.
Yes, send us an email at heyassbuttpodcast@gmail.com. Tweet at us at HABCast, or I don't know, Instagram message us. I don't give a shit. But give us some questions, and we are going to do a special like Q&A episode at some point.
Yeah, so please let us know. My favorite episode to record, Shadow, beginning to end.
Yeah.
That was the episode we found that amazing promo picture.
Yes.
Right.
That promo
yes.
poster.
Oh my god.
And then that also was the episode with the Devas, so I got to really go into Zoroastrianism with the Freak of the Week.
That was cool.
Just from
That's been
beginning
one of
to
my
end.
favorite things about this show is when you do the research on these Freaks of the Weeks.
I know I haven't done for the past couple episodes, but it will be coming
Yeah,
back
it'll
for
come
season
back.
2.
I mean, I feel like it kind of we bring that segment up when it's relevant.
Yeah, or when it's super interesting.
Especially when it's super wrong, like Scarecrow. The Scarecrow is probably one of my favorite monsters.
Yeah.
But it was just hilarious how they just picked a name out of a mythology, and they're like, "That's it," and then we were like, "That was wrong."
The Deva was the same way. The Deva were like, they're these weird shadow ghost demon monsters.
Yeah.
And I started researching them thinking it was going to be like a quick research session, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I watched a
remember that.
documentary.
You went down a rabbit hole.
I went down a
one.
rabbit hole. I was like, everything is different now. So that was so much fun.
The Scarecrow was great. Was it the Striga from Shadow?
No, the Deva from
The
Shadow.
Deva from Shadow. That was a great one. Just something OP as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the Reaper from
Yeah, the Reaper was
from Faith.
excellent. I'm also going to put in the Striga from Something Wicked This Way Comes because one of the few villains to actually make me very uncomfortable.
Wait, was that?
That was the one who sucked souls out of children
Yeah.
or sucked the child's life force.
Yeah.
That was Striga?
Yeah.
What was the thing in Hell House?
The Tulpa.
A Tulpa. Okay.
Yeah. Which were cool to research.
Yeah.
And also, shout out to Yellow Eyes, the big bad of the season.
Oh yeah, I
so
wound up
good.
loving Yellow Eyes.
Yeah.
You haven't even seen Yellow Eyes' permanent incarnation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that isn't even his final
Yeah, I've
form.
only seen him inside of
John. And like some shadowy dude in people's bedrooms. Oh, so good. Least favorite monster? All the fucking ghosts.
Yeah.
like any of the ghosts.
I mean,
Well, there were a few cool ones.
yeah. I didn't hate all the ghosts,
Yeah.
but half of the monsters this season were ghosts.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like some form of a ghost.
yeah, like the dead in the water ghost.
The Dead in the Water ghost.
Bloody
Route
Mary.
666 was a ghost. Bugs might as well have been a ghost.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary was a ghost. Providence was a ghost.
Well, the thing about
The
Bugs,
pilot episode was a ghost.
like Bugs, it could have been so much cooler.
Yeah.
That's what I hate about that episode. It could have been so much better.
Same with Route 666.
Yeah.
If they had just gone full throttle crazy, I would have been like, yes, I'm here for this.
I think it's just because ghosts are a way to play it safe.
Yeah.
Especially in this part of the show.
Well,
I don't like it when you play it safe.
you do expect them to like ghosts or a few other monsters to be the meat and potatoes, fucking common denominator
Right.
monster.
They're the
Yeah.
cockroaches of the supernatural world
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're fucking everywhere.
Yep.
And I don't like there are ghost episodes coming up that I really enjoy. I just think when it's most of your season, it's just kind of like meh.
Yeah.
Actually, and I didn't talk about this when I was going through least favorite episodes. Shout out to all the meh episodes this season.
Yeah.
Every time we were just like, yeah, it's fine.
was a
It's
thing.
filler.
Yeah.
Solid, but not great. I think when we get to later seasons, even seasons that I don't love, like season 7, there are some bad episodes, but none of them are unforgettable.
Yeah.
Nice.
And some of the season 1 episodes are,
Just
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
already
like
can't
whatever.
remember most of them.
yeah,
I hardly remember what we say on this show.
yeah.
And I edit all the episodes and I listen to every episode at least 500 times while I'm editing it. I
Yeah.
still don't know what happened on the show.
Yeah.
what were you saying?
What?
What's happening?
What was that?
And then final question. What was the favorite topic that we talked about in our little beginning section? What was your favorite thing to talk about?
I mean, I like talking about anime, so
Yeah.
anytime we did that, which was a lot.
Anytime we furthered our quest to make Hey Assbutt a podcast about anime,
It pretty much is already.
Travis is
Yeah.
there. Yeah, right. It is about supernatural, which is an anime.
When we talked about favorite fictional characters,
Yeah, that's what I had
Yeah,
too.
that was fun. That was a fun one.
And I can talk about my favorite fictional characters until my feet fall off.
I can talk about some of my favorite fictional characters and talk about anime.
Yeah. Right? And that's all I have for questions. I overall I like this season. I mean,
Yeah.
when I first was watching the show at 14, I remember season 1 being my favorite out of the ones that were out
Yeah.
so far. I think
Yeah.
I decided that with like season 3.
Okay.
Now I feel differently. I think if I had to choose my favorite season between the first 3, I would go with season 3.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird because I think out of the 3 it is the worst one.
Yeah, that's the writer's strike season.
It's the writer's strike season, but it's where they really start to embrace that campy B-movie quality. So
Okay.
there's a lot in our future that I think you're gonna like, and I'm excited to get to it.
Awesome.
We have shout outs. People,
Yeah,
Shout-
we do.
yeah,
fucking outs.
we stand on the shoulders of giants,
We really do.
and we could not have done this podcast without these people. Where the fuck is my list of shout outs?
You put it in the other notebook.
I put it in the other notebook. No, I didn't. It's right here.
There it is.
do you want to take turns saying them or?
Yeah.
Okay.
First shout out. I think the first impression of a show is so good, and it's so important, and you get that first impression with the art.
Yeah.
So thank you to our graphic designer Morgan
Yes. Thank you so much.
Whitten. Yeah, the logo you made us, the header you made us.
We love it.
Couldn't have asked for anything better.
It is the logo for our Twitter. It's our logo
Fan-fucking-tastic.
for everything. It's the
Yeah.
header. It's the header on our Hey Assbutt Twitter. It's the header on my personal Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I love it so much. We're going to make stickers out of it.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so
good. I want to
good.
get it engraved on a phone case.
Yeah.
That's how much I like it.
I get it
Yeah.
as a fucking tattoo.
We
Yeah.
could do that. Shit.
Let's get Hey Assbutt tattoos.
Let's get no.
Black Tide is right over
Yes.
there. Let's go do it.
No, I'm
No.
shutting that down.
They're
but we
closed.
could do the phone case thing or the sticker thing.
Fuck you, I'm getting a tattoo.
Or
Yeah, we're
all
Ben
right,
and I
let
are
me.
gonna get Hey
Yeah.
Assbutt tattoos.
And I will be left out of that, and I will be totally fine.
You're gonna bitch out or we can at least get t-shirts.
I'm not putting a curse word on my body, y'all. Okay, I don't care.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Even if I did put it on my ass.
Yeah.
Hey. Next person, Jill April.
Yes.
She came in and recorded a skit for
Yeah,
us.
she was part of one of our skits. It was the first of like the experiment skits. We were all locked in a room and had to find the clone, and she was our like external government agent voice. We just needed someone. We recorded that on Halloween night.
Yeah,
too.
it was so much fun.
And, yeah, it was so much fun.
She came in from our Halloween celebration. She was dressed as Velma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was cool. It was
She
cool.
gave last fucking like notice, right?
Yeah, totally. Like we decided
Mm-hmm.
to do it pretty much when you got there, so like very short notice. I put it on Facebook. I was like, "Anybody want to come record?" And she was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And also that's by this point in recording, we've only recorded one sketch.
But there's
We're gonna
definitely
bring in other
more.
people.
Yeah.
So also
We'll
shout
give-
out to all those people,
Yeah,
whoever
shout out
you
to all
are.
those people who we haven't talked to yet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put two people in one category.
Yeah.
Is like kind of part of one of our test audiences for like episodes 1 and 2 and 3 when we were really like about to start getting the show rolling, because we backlogged like 6 months worth of episodes before we even started releasing them.
Yeah.
And I want to give shout outs to our friends Elizabeth and Will.
Yeah.
They were very supportive of us. Elizabeth is a fan of Supernatural, and Will is just a fan of podcasts.
Yeah.
So they were able to
And
give
us.
us. And Will was actually our very first iTunes review.
Yeah.
And
And it's so clearly.
he sent us a text in our little group chat, and he was like, "Hey, I left you guys the iTunes review," and I read it, and I was like, "Okay, thanks, guy who obviously knows the three of us." But it was sweet, and Will has always been super supportive of us, and we're always super supportive.
Every
of him.
time he releases a new episode, he'll send us something and be like, "I really like the episode this week, guys."
Yeah,
So
and then he'll send us something like, "I really liked when you talk about this," and I was like, "I don't remember it.
I have no idea what the fuck.
I don't
that was
remember
months
saying
ago.
that."
We recorded it months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll let you do the next person.
Okay. Shout out to the River Scribe.
River Scribe on Tumblr.
On Tumblr and AO3. She was a Tumblr mutual of mine that basically before we released the first episode, like right before,
Yeah,
we
she was another one of our test audience.
Yeah, she was a test audience. She was somebody who didn't know us and wasn't biased, like,
Yeah,
and like we had never talked before. And I just messaged her one day and was like, "Hey, I know you're a Supernatural fan. I run I'm a co-host on a podcast. We're about to release it, and we want somebody to tell us what they think." And she sent us like a novel.
Oh yeah.
Of just notes and thoughts, and she loves it. She reblogs
good.
every time we release an episode.
Every time.
She reblogs it. She leaves us reviews.
Yeah. It's
and
really great.
Yeah.
She's super supportive of us, and
Yeah.
and like I'm not a big fan fiction person, but I want to try to give back to her in some way, and I guess
Yeah.
this is our way of doing
Yeah,
that.
go check her out. Check out her fan fix if you're a fan of Supernatural fan fix.
And if you're listening to this, maybe you already know about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
We hope you keep listening to the show, especially since she really didn't know us from Adam, and we really appreciate your support.
And I think last, we're gonna thank Scott Eason for coming and
Yeah.
Yeah, for being our first
For
guest.
being our
For being
first
our
guest.
first guest.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Scott.
going through 2 episodes with us.
Yeah.
Having a fucking blast with us. Jesus.
I have 2 shout outs
Yeah?
that are not on the list officially.
Uh-huh.
Well, Travis, you are. Shout out to Travis
Fucking A.
for producing our music
Yeah.
and also being the engineer on our podcast.
Yeah,
Like,
I do. If you guys don't know already, I do pretty much most of the editing. And
All of the editing.
all of the editing.
Yeah, there's no pretty much. It's all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I consult you guys about things we need to cut or
Sure,
like what we
sure.
should
Like
do
we
with
give
this.
our 2 bits,
But yeah, like I do all the technical stuff with like this is all my equipment we record with and everything like that. So I'm kind of like the technical director.
yeah. But we, this podcast would not happen if, it would just be Ben and I being assholes into microphones.
We do that anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, nobody else would hear it, without you. And then also, Ben, I just want to say, well, and to you, Travis, as well, when we first met, I remember being like, hey, do you want to do a podcast together? Like, and this idea went through so many iterations in my mind.
Yeah. And like I remember first meeting you and you and one of our friends Duel, y'all were talking about like the Flash or something.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing you and Duel talking about like maybe doing a Flash podcast.
Yeah,
or
like a
something.
DC TV podcast. But I've always known that I wanted to do a podcast about a property that I love. And discuss it and break it down with friends. And I'm so #blessed that you guys decided to do this with me.
Oh yeah.
And that we met one day at like a local coffee shop and talked about what we wanted for the show and like different ideas we had.
Yeah. Oh, that was so long ago.
I know, right? It's been 5 years, it feels like. And then
That was even before we moved in together too.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just
And like
clicked.
it's kind of funny, like the reason, like one of the facilitators of doing this podcast is that Ari and I live in the same apartment, so it just makes coordinating easier.
yeah. And then
I want to give a shout out to Ducky
yeah.
for being our podcast cat. She was around.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
Thanks for being our secretary, Ducky.
Yeah, she answers all of our emails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why so many of them are just pert skirter pert burr. It's just Ducky walking over the keys.
Yeah. Which happens a lot.
But yeah. Too much really. Work on that, Ducky. And then shout out to you guys who liked and listened and
Thank
reviewed.
you for listening.
And then a final seriously final shout out, unless you guys think of anything, to the cast and crew of Supernatural.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that show.
Thanks for existing. We wouldn't exist without you.
Yeah.
But this is, even though we make fun of it, this does come from a place of love.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thanks for the entertainment. Literally hours.
Yeah.
When I was in 7th grade and I first started watching this show, and I got my dad to start watching it. Mm-hmm. And I remember my mom and sister making, like, they would jive at us and they started watching it and they were like, oh shit. When I was in 7th grade, I had no idea what the fuck a podcast was. And look at all of us. Look at where it's
all of
taken
us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, where fiction has taken us.
Well, and this,
It's brought-
I like to think that this is ultimately about a person's relationship to something they love
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that isn't a person or,
It's, it's not a concrete thing. It's the most abstract of abstract. It is a long-running television show
yeah.
that one of us has seen almost all of. One of us has seen about, we'll say 3/4
Half,
of half.
yeah, a little
Then
over halfway.
Someone who
And
is busting a cherry
virgin
every
eyeballs.
goddamn week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Thank you.
And we hope you join us for season 2.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
You want toast?
Yeah, let's do a toast.
I thought I was having a stroke.
Click.
Sláinte.
Shama
Sláinte.
lama ding dong.
Cilantro.
The demons are politicians.
Yeah. Well,
It's a little on the nose, Scott. A little on the
The
nose.
yellow-eyed demon is really infatuated with 6-month-old babies.
He really likes them. He could run for Senate and probably win. So
yeah.
we swore we weren't going to make this podcast political, but here we are.
Oh, is
Well,
that, was
if
that
they-
6 months
recorded?
later.
It's really-
I always do this thing
Guys, I can't believe we did this.
I know.
Not because we aren't talented or have the ability.
But it's just crazy to think.
That we recorded 21 episodes of a
I know.
podcast about a TV show.
Yeah, and then we've released 3 of them. We're about to release 4. But we have almost 100 listeners and people who actually listen to this. I mean, not 100 listeners, but 100 downloads.
Yeah.
And that there are people who are entertained by us.
This is actually the first thing I've been a part of that I feel like has gone somewhere and is going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, I have tried to do so many projects with, like, music, or, I mean, like, doing comedy has taken me places. Doing comedy took me here.
Yeah.
And this was one of those things where I was like, I want to make this as good as possible.
Yeah.
Which is why we use this equipment, and why we put so much effort into scheduling and everything like that. And
put effort into research and jokes and
I didn't like the name Hey Assbutt at first.
Yeah.
But it's grown on you, right?
It's grown on me, and this is a product that I am proud of.
Yeah.
And I will always be proud of it.
I think that's why you didn't like the name at first,
because I wanted to be proud of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now, I always take myself too seriously in the beginning.
You're going to get to season 5 and you're going to be like, I get it.
Yeah.
You're going to get to the end of season 5. And, I mean, I'm just going to spoil it and give you who says the 9, because I'm pretty sure you already know.
It's Cass.
Yeah, Cass is my
I already
favorite
know.
character. And so you and I really decided on Hey Assbutt.
We
because
kind of bulldogged you into that.
Yeah, we
well,
really
I
did.
mean, because I don't know anything about the show,
Right.
so I didn't really have a dog in that fight.
Well, and when I tell people what the name is, I do have to say, like, it makes sense in context.
oh yeah, and but the people that know the context are like,
Nice name,
Yeah.
yeah. Scott tonight was like, "That's a great name."
Yeah.
Hey Assbutt is another one. Is one of those driver picks the music, shotgun, shuts his cake hole lines.
It's on buttons, stickers, T-shirts, keychains, babies. It's on everything.
Yeah. My aunt. It's on everything.
Yeah.